Warning, we're going live.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh,
I'm waiting to capture the URL
I
segment.
had like less than 5 hours of sleep last night, and so we should be.
Look at
And
that.
I'm
Now
not
we
gonna
are
have a
live.
pick.
So we should stop what we were doing.
So live.
Get down upon your knees. I have a message for you that you'd better believe.
Let's see.
Jeremy will have kind words for Mac users when he shows up.
Don't mess with the missionary man.
I still don't have the video URL. It says we're live. I see the live icon. I don't want to be. Videos. Nope, not yet.
That's a great picture of me yawning.
It is. You sure it's not still marked private?
Oh, it would help if I had a mic turned on.
Yeah, there's
It
that.
would help.
It's public.
I'm just waiting to see it so that I can fix our.
But it's set to ultra low latency, Brett.
Oh, it's going by so fast that I can't even see it.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
I'm watching myself on youtube.com/PCPer right now.
But several seconds behind.
Oh, yeah. But not too far behind. I'm like 4 seconds behind. It's ultra low latency.
Oh.
Yes, Patrick, I'm sorry. I was muted. And Christopher,
was.
the 3080 is not in the case because it was in an open test bed, and I thought, hey, let's be a pretentious a-hole and put it on display.
Pretentious.
Okay, now I've got it. Give me like seconds, but which could turn into minutes.
If minutes were hours, Captain.
Carrie
It'll
Trainer,
take
I
those
disagree.
that
Overclocking RAM
3 days
is
to repair.
pain.
Hours were days.
That's a very clever code, I might add.
Not really.
You know, I had a whole Star Trek thing actually prepared for this evening, and it has left my head. Let's see. Invalid parameters. What did I screw up here?
Probably a lot of things.
Yeah, it started with getting up this morning. Oops.
It's
You know
always
what
a
happens?
terrible thing to do.
When an extra space sneaks into your cut and paste, don't you hate that?
No, don't know what you're talking about.
Ever happens to you? You're lucky.
I'll mute
I'm
myself.
lucky.
Josh, some motherboards have a RAM latency enhancement feature you can turn on in the BIOS. Somebody's asking on YouTube, is that good?
Are you being sarcastic about
No,
that?
that's their question. Is RAM latency enhanced good? Because I just put it on. LOL.
I have no idea.
I feel like it does the opposite of what you think. It probably is like GDM, but I'd have to look into it.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt if it was like GDM. Do we have a I need the notes.
I'll send you the link.
No, I'll just scroll up and I'll find the link. Ka-chow. In the middle of the night, she's crying.
Oh. Yes. Gear down mode, bad, but good. I mean, it's good because your system will boot. It's bad because you won't get those tight timings you thought you were paying for.
I don't know. When I hit gear down mode on mine, it actually tightened up some of the timings. It was bizarre.
I think everything's working.
Yeah, I set GDM for auto. So.
I agree with Insidium. Brett's background needs more spatulas.
I completely agree with that. I will add that to the contractor punch list and just make sure that that gets added.
Couldn't you just superimpose some spatulas? I don't know what software you're using, if it's just Skype, but
I'll work on that. If you give me a couple minutes.
yeah, just Photoshop a bunch of spatulas all over that kitchen.
I'm working it.
Okay.
All right. You got to just give me some downtime. If everybody could just tune back in 15 minutes, that'd be great. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm guessing Razer 24D is using an AMD board. Why would you have to go up to 1.4 volts on Samsung BDI?
Seems high.
Yeah. I've only ever had to do voltage increases for stability on AMD. Unless I was overclocking. Like if you're just trying to get like great sub timings, well, that's the thing about RAM. Sub timings are where you sometimes do have to overclock or overvolt. Yeah, it's not really a Jensen kitchen if you can't pull expensive tech out of your oven, Brett, just so you know.
You know what? I'll go back there and get it soon enough. Don't rush me.
It's another potential mailbag question.
Boy, I wonder. I wonder if my Ripper mouse pads are just like slowly disintegrated in those boxes. Open it up and it's just dust and some fabric comes out.
Dust in the wind. Plastic does have a tendency to sort of melt over time, unfortunately.
Well, I mean that mouse pad material stuff. It dries out and gets old and just turns to dust.
The backing on that stuff is not. That backing is not forever. This is kind of a foam material that will disintegrate over time.
That rubberized, no non-slip.
Yeah. The graphics card websites, Andre, they have nothing to sell. So, I mean, other than 2000 series cards and AMD cards. I'm sure they're all working just fine.
But hey, that Xbox One X had a huge burst of sales this past week.
Good for them. I mean,
Amazon.
Maybe a lot of pent-up demand on that one. Now, that's totally legitimate.
Let me type in Xbox Series X, and the first thing comes up is Xbox One X. Oh, they're in stock. Let me buy one.
The pictures look similar.
If you don't follow this industry and you're just told there's a new Xbox X,
go get it for
right.
for little Tommy.
Right. Oh, I got the Xbox X. This was the problem that I don't know if it'll end up being a problem, but Nintendo had a huge problem. I was still working in retail.
Who's that guy?
When the Wii U came up. Why am I over here now?
Fix it.
Wii U. And why did you get so pixelated?
Because that's my other camera. I'm cheating with my better camera because I don't want to. It's complicated.
Yeah, but Jeremy showed up and everything went to hell.
It did.
For me.
Look at that.
I
Okay.
am finally fulfilling my purpose tonight.
Oh my gosh, you are like not good.
Yeah.
You're a little blown out, Jeremy.
I look
little
exceedingly
overexposed.
sharp. Could you blur me a little
I
bit?
need some more water. I'll be right back.
Slight overexposure right now for Jeremy.
Well, I mean, it automatically goes back to auto and then cranks up to 100.
Now it's too dim.
Yeah.
We played this game last week. Oh, wait. That looks about normal. There it is. Perfect.
Oh,
Flawless.
that's better.
Flawless.
She had a 920. That's got enough dynamic range.
It's just that bright light has to be on.
Yes. It's got a tiny. Have you seen the sensor size on the 920, Brett?
It's
Yeah,
the
but it
size of a
works.
pin. I'm using a Razer Kaio actually. It's pretty good.
It's
1080.
been working for God knows how long.
I find it disturbing that I'm looking this way now when I had set myself up thinking I'd be on the bottom right corner again this
Okay,
week.
wait, you're wrong.
And you're always wrong.
You need to move your chair. Look at that. Oh, how awkward.
It's okay. If you're watching the stream, I'm facing the wrong way. But it's okay.
If you're watching the stream, it's just embarrassing all the way around. There's this is the world that we live in. If you look for a 3080 on Amazon, you just get 2080 listings.
Incredible pricing.
Yeah.
One of the guys that I was working with, he did the RTX 3090, and the first thing that popped up was the Titan RTX, and he got so excited he bought 2 of them on the company credit card.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
it's like, I got some, guys. It's like,
Yay!
really? Oh, well, never mind. I need to cancel those.
Yeah.
Whoops! Oh, they already shipped.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
shipped
they're
in.
dumping
they're
them
gonna
now.
be Next day, we're
Who's
gonna be
waiting?
there, man.
Who's waiting for 2080 Ti's at $300? Like that? That's gonna happen, right?
No.
Mouse out of here.
$399? Come on! Don't burst my bubble.
At least you have a bubble.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look how much 1080 Ti's have been going for, even.
Yeah.
600 plus.
Still overpriced. Way overpriced.
Yeah.
Very, very overpriced.
But available.
Yeah.
Being told to flip the video in OBS, but then it would be backwards. We don't want that.
Nobody
No.
wants that.
If we hold stuff up, it'll
Your
be
ass
wrong.
backwards.
Okay. Let's get started here. Now that it's 10:34 in the east.
Yes, please.
Perfect.
Let's go.
Okay. In
Oh, you
3.
shouldn't have waited
Wait. Gotta hit record. That would have been bad. Well, I would have just used the stream footage, but. Okay, recording is going. Good. In 3, 2. Hello and welcome to the PC Perspective Podcast. This is episode 598, being recorded on September 24th, 2020. I'm Sebastian Peak.
I may still be Jeremy Hellstrom.
I'm definitely Josh Walraff.
I'm Brett Van Spernberg, occasionally known as Propa Naz.
Yes, if you read YouTube comments, you'll understand that. And if you want to find out when we go live for things like this, and we were a little bit late tonight, but the email did go out. You can sign up for our, call it the spam list, the notification list. You get an email if we're going to go live, usually about an hour or so beforehand. For the podcast and other live events, you can support the site on Patreon. And Brett, I believe we have a return. The return of Jeremy Gelstrom.
We do.
Patreon fold.
Big round of applause for Jeremy Gelstrom. If you could just add that in
Jeremy.
post.
Cheers.
Oh, the applause? I'll have to find
Yes.
some public domain or royalty-free applause, yes.
Royalty-free applause.
Or just record myself doing this like 100 times.
yeah,
overdub
exactly,
it.
Yeah. If I could just do one hand.
Sadly, we
clapping.
can't afford to hire a SEAL to do it for us.
No, which would be great. Actually, that would be really, really awesome. And then a new Patreon
Yes,
member,
you've been alone all day. I know. I'm sorry.
Brother Michigan. And if you wanted, if you had it, you could show that picture I sent you just to show what we do for really special patrons.
I'll add it in post.
You
I don't
can
have
add it in
pulled up.
post. So that's something for people to look at later. And I may have made a horrible mistake in saying that I'm going to do that. But yeah, I'll have some commentary on that later. So you have to come back.
Now, normally we'd have a burger update right now. That's next on our criteria, our list.
You want to see what Josh did with Five Guys.
No.
We don't. We don't want
No.
to see the aftermath.
Nope.
We have no
Plus,
burger
we don't
pictures
even
this
have
week.
5 guys here.
What
What?
happened, Josh? Why wasn't there a burger this week?
The guys had to tear up their kitchen floor and replace it, so it's been closed.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
At least it's not being closed like permanently. Just kitchen floor.
correct.
At least that's the
Depends on
story.
the contractor.
True.
So
I
first
think
on
all
the
the
agenda.
asbestos is out of that building.
Yes,
First
you
on the
can be
agenda.
stream too.
a thing happened again this week. This time it's the RTX 3090, and we're not going to spend 40 minutes talking about that. I don't have one for review. Other reviews are out there. I think the speculation about what the performance was going to be like was spot on because, hey, it's 10 to 20% faster than a 3080. But you're getting a lot more memory. You're getting more tensor cores. So, I mean, it's this odd kind of prosumer product, right? Where it's doesn't have the Titan feature set, but it's a little bit faster than a 3080, but it's a lot more money.
Yeah, if they hadn't positioned it as a gaming card, I think they'd be in much better shape, honestly.
Well, one person actually did get some productivity testing done. He says still trying to bring up links. And it
I think
was
JC got some as well, but he did a bunch of Blender stuff with.
Yeah, TechGauge was doing Blender, and
Yeah.
it's pretty much the same as
it was significant.
Let's see what Tech Power Up has here.
TechGauge. So that's Octane Bench, Blender 2.9. The BMW rendering went from 28 seconds down to 23. Or sorry, 28 cycles down to 3. Mr. Elephant 127 down to 102. So I mean, there's a definite bump, but it's like the gaming. It's not a 100% bump. It's a healthy 20-25% though. What is this kitten killing?
I don't know, but yeah, I'm actually using the NVIDIA Broadcast, and I've been typing and stuff. It's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, you were very quiet.
So it's just Jeremy we have to blame, or Jeremy's cat.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
See it in the lower corner there.
I've got a fan going 100 miles an hour right above me. I'm typing.
Let's all look at Nate's awesome photos here. Nate from Legit Reviews did a full retail Founders Edition 3090 review today. It's a nice looking card. It's just so ridiculously oversized.
It's monstrous. But I
Let's see
tell you
what
what,
he did
that cooler is really damn good on the FE. And the thing is just robust. Doesn't move. That's got to be like 5 pounds on that one rather than 3 on the 3080.
Oh yeah, at least. It looks massive. So anyway, yeah, not huge gains. I think everybody kind of knows already what the 3090 brings to the table. It's that. Oh,
Yeah, a lot of
Hey,
weight.
Kitty. Wow, they're awful excited to see you.
they can join in. I want to hear what they have to say about the 3090 launch.
They've been alone since about 7:30, so
Okay.
they're mad at you guys. I'm paying attention to you, not them.
Yeah.
That's great. Poor kitties.
Anyway, 3090. And the sales are brisk, as Brett so sarcastically mentions in our show notes here.
Yeah, I put a link in there. Why don't
Yeah.
you click through to that?
Yep, it's on the screen. Looking at out of stock. Let's see, out of stock.
Oh
out
my
of
gosh,
stock.
out of stock and at $1,800. Why didn't I buy more?
Oh, look at this.
They
Gigabyte
go
has
as
one for
fast as they sell out.
MSRP. Is that the only one at $14.99? I think so. So there will be at least one card in theory at $14. Oh, here's another one. The MSI Ventus. Oh, Tough Gaming. Look, I missed them. They're all at the beginning. I scrolled right past them. So there's 4 cards right now at $14.99, which you can't buy because they're out of stock. But yeah.
Yeah.
Now-
So this morning, me and like 6 other coworkers, we all got online and we were waiting, and we had people on Amazon, Nvidia, Spot, and Newegg, all these places. And as soon as 6 a.m. Pacific time did, we refreshed. We hit add to cart. By the time we did checkout, I mean, they were all gone. They were all removed from your cart.
Ouch.
Doesn't matter. It was just the bots were on top of it. Anything that NVIDIA and Newegg said they did, it certainly didn't. Because it was, it was all of us trying to do one thing, and it just didn't work. I mean, we know that quantities are limited, and these will slowly be coming out, and eventually, probably by the end of the year, people are going to be able to buy them. But until that point, it's going to be, you're going to have to be really lucky. You got to know somebody. Then maybe you can get one.
Yeah, well, I don't know
So
anyone, so I didn't.
I should
get
probably unmute myself.
Yeah.
one. Then again, they're also over $2,000 up here in Canada.
Indeed.
Let me come up with a better transition than that. Moving on to the sole review of the last few days, Samsung's 980 Pro launched. Samsung finally enters the PCI Express 4.0 fray, and it's fast. I only had the 500 gigabyte drive to test, and it's still pretty freaking fast. We're talking, sequential here with fairly high queue depths. It was able to hit about 68-ish, 100, so about 6.8 gigabytes per second max. It didn't quite reach the 6900 that this particular model is supposed to be able to hit, but they do their testing at like QDEP 32. I could have done that to try to validate. But anyway, it's fast. It's close enough to 7,000 megabytes per second. But very important to look at the 4K random, like here's single and 16 thread. This is stuff you get just from Crystal Disk Mark that I'm looking at here, but pretty big gains if you're looking at the MP600, which is that Phison E16 controller. That combination of that and TLC memory that we've seen from every other drive that's come out so far. And of course, there is that new faster drive with the E18 controller coming out from Sabrent soon. It's not on the market yet. That's potentially going to be the fastest drive, but right now the Samsung is. And what I wanted to talk about really, because you can look through the review, there's a lot of other reviews that are more in-depth than ours. I just did some quick testing here with the disclaimer that I am not Alan Malventano, and I can't even hope to recreate one of his storage reviews, but
Alta Montevino?
yeah, I'm not even Alvin Maltavino, no.
Yeah.
But the TLC aspect, they're calling it 3-bit NAND, 3-bit MLC in the specs. It's TLC. This is essentially an Evo drive.
But a
Yeah.
Pro.
But
It's
a Pro.
called a Pro.
Yeah.
So what's happening to the Evo?
I don't know. Here's my theory about that. What if Evo moves to QLC with a giant SLC cache?
Bad kitty, my beer. Possibly, but odd.
I don't know. I don't know what else they would do to differentiate them, because unless like the whole drive encryption thing, I don't know some of the pro level features on this that could set it apart, but this is TLC with SLC cache. That's been the formula for Evo since the beginning. And they haven't announced an Evo drive in the 980 yet. Last time they launched 970 Evo alongside 970 Pro. And that was the difference, MLC versus TLC. So performance is great, but once you're out of SLC cache, it drops significantly. Writes would drop to about 1,000 megabytes a second if the drive is more than half full, or there's certain conditions, like if you do writes that completely deplete. It would be pretty significant, though, because the cache on this one, the 500 gigabyte drive, is a dynamic cache that starts off at 4 and I think goes all the way up to 90 gigabytes. But still, it is possible to back it into a corner where it's only a gigabyte per second.
Did you
And
have a
that's
test
still not
scenario?
entirely-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Then that's still not entirely slow. But when you're looking at a 980 Pro, you just kind of wonder where they're coming from with that. I know you talked about it a little bit earlier, but that gets pretty slow. And I mean, everybody else has got TLC cache. I mean, the Sabrent 4.0 stuff and then the next generation of Phison, I mean, it's all going to be using TLC. I mean, who's going to differentiate from this stuff? I mean, these next generation controllers are finally getting to where they need to be with PCIe 4.0. But, once you start getting to corner cases and some of these, heavy duty writes, it's just, you should go and bug Alan for some of his scripts and stuff. And, of course, graphing is a pain in the butt, especially if you don't have the level of knowledge that Alan does on hard drives. It's going to be interesting, but yeah, I don't, we're in a strange new world, but at least everything's cheap.
Yeah, that's the good thing. Although this has a premium attached where if you look at the cheapest drives on the market that are Gen 4, they started at about $99 for a 500 gig class. And this is $150, so $50 above. The median price is closer to about $120, so it's about a 25% increase over the average drive price. I did notice that the Sabrent drives are dropping with coupons on Amazon. The $200 drive has a $60 off coupon, and which of course, I mean, for 140, that's a 1 terabyte drive. That's pretty good, but it's still Phison E16. I'd personally hold out for E18. With that plus drive that's coming. But, I mean, if you're going with
just
Sabrent
another PCIe 4.0 storage controller.
Yeah.
Like
Wouldn't it be
one
nice?
other one.
Silicon Motion was working on one. They've shown it in the past. The last time I saw an update, I think was in 2019.
They've been awful quiet.
Yeah. There's.
I wonder what controller Seagate's using for the Xbox expansion, because that's a PCI 4.0 by 2.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For $220 for 1 terabyte.
I've been sniffing around the specs. Apparently, some of the upgraded drives are significantly more expensive. I didn't see a number, but someone was really upset. But I've been sniffing around the specs to see if anyone will release what they're using. But it's not a console thing to do, is to come out and say, oh, and by the way, you should prefer the Xbox because it's got this storage controller on it.
They've been pretty tight-lipped about that.
What if they have the E18 early? Because Seagate works with Phison. Did you say it was Seagate? I don't know.
Yeah,
Be
Seagate
imagining
has
things.
the
Because their FireCuda 520s, Phison E16.
And they know that those will sell out like Amperes. So it's just a huge chunk of money right away.
I wonder if those storage drives are still in stock. Because it was up for pre-order today for the Xbox storage cartridge thing that goes in the back.
$299?
I thought it was $229. Okay.
$229. Yep. Yeah.
It's not horrible for a PCIe 4.0. It's competitive with the Samsung.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's pause right here to hear a word from our sponsor this week.
They actually have one?
Yeah,
We do.
it'll be, added.
It will.
It's added value.
Brett's going to be doing the mellifluous ad read and sending me the audio.
I did one already, and, I hate myself.
Oh, you listened
Then
to it,
you
you
did
don't
it
like
right.
it?
Yeah, so it must be perfect. I'll send it to you later.
Perfect.
Mhm.
So are we a
advertise
little
all
chunky tonight, or is it just me?
Well, what do you mean by chunky?
Lots of pauses,
Yeah,
low
no, you're right.
energy.
It's low energy and it's not been great. It's been
Yeah.
I think
It was a crappy day.
I think
all around,
Sebastian
but
had
I'm-
his basement remodeled. Jeremy had a Mac user, and
Well,
you had-
I'm on 12 hours now straight out.
and Josh hasn't had any sleep.
Yeah.
And
it's okay.
I was
There'll be a lot of
looking,
those jump cuts this time.
I was
when
looking
edit the
for
podcast.
a spatula. Had to find a spatula.
You found a spatula,
Only one, though.
a massive.
Yes, but it was
spatula.
the correct size.
Would you rather one spatula-sized something or a
You should s-
1,000?
You should see what I could do with this spatula.
I don't want.
No.
That's what I thought.
All right,
Moving
let's,
along.
Let's come back from the break.
And we're
Well,
back.
Yeah, we are. Isn't
And we're
that
back.
remarkable?
Yeah.
We're all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. We're going
Woohoo!
to talk over each other. It's going to be great.
Let's start
We're
the
not
show.
gonna. Yeah, we're never gonna do that. Next up, OnLogic. Josh.
Me. So there's this little company called OnLogic in New Hampshire, I believe, and I'd never heard of them until last week. But apparently they're pretty decent little company when it comes to industrial type servers. And they're making an announcement with AMD that not only are they supporting their EPYC processors, the latest generation stuff, and some of their more ruggedized servers and their 1U and their 1.5U and their 2U racks that can be in more industrial use or in areas with lots of dust or stuff that you can actually mount to a wall of a wind turbine, for example. Stuff like that, and it's it's a small company still, but they locally source all their hardware. It's organic.
Did
No,
you say organic?
No, they don't.
From
You
manufacturer
just
to
wanted
table.
to see if we were listening.
Is it grain fed? Is this free range?
Or no,
Free
from
range
fab to
motherboards.
table, I guess.
Yeah, cage free RAM. So all of these things that are good for you. But it's a small company. They're pretty agile in what they're able to do, and their designs are actually really cool. If you go through and take a look at some of their ruggedized platforms, things like the case is a big heat sink, and they have an interesting color scheme, and they've got good ways to keep dust out of your stuff. And the interesting part about this is that they're actually doing regular desktop Ryzen CPUs as server chips, and AMD's actually kind of supporting them in this. And this is kind of a big deal because you can get a serious amount of horsepower for not a whole lot of money in a more server class product. They have other add-ins with the KVMs and I can't remember the PIO something, or the remote management type stuff.
Lights out kind of
all
stuff,
those
yeah.
are kind of integrated into these Ryzen motherboards and processors that are not really there in desktop versions, but you'd have to go up to EPYC and some of these server boards with that kind of functionality. And so this is a neat little offering that are relatively inexpensive, and their products look really well integrated and well rounded. And so OnLogic's going to be kind of an interesting little group to keep watch on and see if they grow, because they've been very, very focused on what they do. They were started in like 2003, where they were just kind of a run-of-the-mill PC parts seller, and then they started getting into custom systems, and then they somehow got into industrial type server stuff, and they hire engineers to do very specific work to make sure thermals and dust and electrical shock and just physical shock do not affect their designs nearly as much as just standard servers. So it's neat that they're embracing EPYC, but they're also embracing Ryzen. So these are very, very cost-effective platforms, and it's one that we're actually kind of looking for a job that we're thinking of, not PC perspective, but my other work, with monitoring wind turbines and essentially running off solar power and having these things in the middle of deserts and arid regions, as well as potentially the ocean. So it's neat stuff, and they seem to make a pretty good little product for not a whole lot of money.
Is Erica Austin still with them?
No idea.
Okay, because I recall OnLogic, and I'm just looking at emails, and yeah, years ago, they reached out with a couple of things, and it's just kind of amusing.
Cool.
It's good to see that they're doing well.
Yeah.
Is this on an X? I guess I should look at I don't see what platform they're doing. Like I'm looking at the 1.5U rack mount Ryzen server, and it supports ECC memory. Of course, that's unbuffered, right?
Correct.
Okay. But still, I mean, you're putting together, I'm adding all this stuff to it, like, just 128 gigabytes of memory, and we're still only at $3,500 for a complete solution.
Wow, that's
with a
really
ton of RAM.
reasonable.
Yeah.
Really reasonable.
Yeah, it's neat stuff.
Good for them.
Glad they reached out. Gonna keep an eye on them.
Well, another thing that happened
In the server
more,
space.
Yes, more ARM-powered servers, Jeremy. The
How many-
Neoverse.
How many cores do you want per
All
socket?
the cores.
socket.
I want all
Like,
of them.
Is 80 enough, or are you more of a 96 type person?
Can I have more?
You can have 96.
No more than
per
96. Yeah, that's
96?
still a lot.
core. Yeah.
I feel slightly sated at 96 cores.
So, and I'm desperately trying to keep the kitten from unmuting me and doing other horrible things as I'm talking. But yeah, so you've got Oracle that is going with one that we've already seen, Ampere's Ultra. We've seen a little bit of the peak towards it. They're 7 nanometer fab chips, so not brand new, but still, it's 80 cores per socket. You've got a dual socket server setup available. So in a single 1U, you've got 160 bloody cores that are hitting up to 3.3 gigahertz straight across. So, it's not like ARM's stuck on the low processing power, just low power usage. Each of them has 128 PCIe 4.0 lanes. So Intel, once again, is, kind of glaring at the competition and wondering one day this will happen. And 4 terabytes of memory per socket. So if you've lost count, that is 256 PCIe 4.0 lanes, 160 cores, and 8 terabytes of memory
Did you say
On-
4 terabytes?
per
checking.
socket.
So that's 8 terabytes?
It is capable of, yes. And it's using, they didn't really show the numbers of that in their presentation, but they're saying about 25 to 30% less power usage than the equivalent size processing capable solution from AMD or Intel, which is just
So essentially,
insane.
they're comparing racks.
Yeah.
It's like you got a full, rack of here, and you have, X amount more processors. You've got X amount more memory, but you're also running 20% less power. And so
Yeah.
you've got more threads, more overall performance. They've increased, IPC on these things. So single threaded performance
Mhm.
is a lot better than it used to be from ARM. And they've got they announced 2 different versions. The new is the Neoverse V1. Is that right, or is it the R1? I think it's
No,
the
the Neoverse V1's out of Ampere, who's probably going to have to change their name soon.
Oddly enough.
Well, I mean, it's these are all generalized.
Well, no,
But,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
So V1 is their performance, where power is they don't care. They're going to raise it up there. You're going to get a 50% increase in single thread performance from their previous A72 based, I think, N1 or pre N1
Yes.
products. And they also have what SVE, I think it is a new kind of, it's like Neon on steroids. It
Mhm.
does all kinds of stuff. SIMD, MIMD, Vector, AVX type stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of butchering
And-
all of this.
The funny thing is that it's fully compatible with all of the newer stuff coming out, and in almost every case, you don't have to worry about a lot of the vulnerabilities that we've been seeing on the AMD and in Intel side. They just don't do multi-threading that way.
They're different.
And of course, then you've got the N2, which is coming out, and the N2 is going
2022.
Yeah, 128 cores per socket. Now, one of the funny things about the V1 that you're talking about, or Zeus, as they decided to call it as well, you actually get to pick and choose what you want. So, do you want 7 nanometer silicon or 5 nanometer silicon? There are cost differences, performance, well, not so much performance, but heat differences between the two of them. You can pick what peak frequency you want, because these things, as most ARMs are they're configurable. What is it you want? We can do it, which is wild and wacky. And remember, not even 2 years ago we were wondering if ARM could move into the server room and make a name for themselves.
Well,
You know,
they already are. I mean,
Yeah.
what Graviton from AWS? It's in production. People are buying it. People are using it. It's there.
So this is like, consider that this is all done before NVIDIA is going to give them potentially a huge boost in the server space.
This is
so
the question, right?
it is interesting
Well,
to
it's
think
kind
about.
of funny because wasn't it last year or at the beginning of this year that the big thing was now CUDA can run on ARM?
Hmm.
Beginning of this year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was like January.
Yeah.
He announced that.
Yeah,
Shocking.
Coincidence?
Maybe.
And then
It's
the
all-
other amusing thing, to go back to the Ultra, because I don't know if I mentioned it, it's Oracle that is putting together these because they're not busy buying up everything else.
Oh,
that they
the
can.
TikTok company?
Well, they're
Yeah,
trying
well-
to buy things up, but yeah.
Time's running out on that, though. So what they're doing, this is one of their bases for something they're going to be launching very soon to compete against Amazon Web Service.
Oh.
They're just going to appear out of nowhere and take over AWS, or, well, at least that's what some of them are thinking. And, well, it's Oracle. They've done stranger things in the past. And so they're smart enough that they're going to, you want Ice Lake Xeons? No problem. We can do that. You want to book a Milan-based Epic server? We can do that. You can't have it yet, but they're already taking pre-orders for them. And so you're allowed to bounce around with everything. One of them was interesting. It's a 64-core current Rome Epic with 2 terabytes of RAM, 24 terabytes of NVMe storage, and about 100 tensor cores with 40 gigs of RAM each. Or an A100 tensor core chip. So stupid amounts of power. On the flip side, if you're running a small place and you're just doing a basic point of sale sort of thing, you will be able to go as low as a single core. You'll actually be able to rent on their new cloud a single core with a. It's bizarre, but I kind of want to see AWS go away, or at least not be the only choice other than Azure, because personal reasons, I guess.
You know, single core sounds terrible, but then I think about every, like you point of sale you brought up, but most grocery stores, that sort of thing, that their infrastructure is very out of date.
Oh God.
And even a single core instance would be better than what they have, which is probably some sub
Unpatched Windows XP.
Hey,
yeah,
there
unpatched Windows
are-
XP embedded on like a sub 500 megahertz single core CPU.
Remember
There
when
are
Adam?
a lot of microservices that could very well be served by a single core with
Yeah.
just a little bit of RAM and a lot of static infrastructure or static data that is occasionally accessed for not a lot of money. Even AWS supplies that now. But if you've ever used
now,
AWS's
they didn't
interface,
for the longest time.
Well, it's
and they
true.
don't like you for doing it.
no, because it's too cheap. But if you've ever used AWS's interface and been lost in it, you kind of understand that there's a place for somebody else to come on, on the industry and provide an easier to use solution that's just as scalable. So yeah, I can envision this might work for them.
All right, let us move on quickly.
And talk about
AMD
the sewer.
rumors abound.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Something fishy is going on. As
Yeah.
Tom's Hardware put it.
I don't think I've ever seen more ridiculous names,
Let's see.
And-
What are the names? We have Sienna Cichlid.
which is a fish of some sort. Navy flounder. I guess that's a play on the whole fish thing.
Tim
I like-
Gray
it's the Tim Gray
Cavefish.
cavefish I'm
And-
holding out for.
Dim
Which-
gray cave.
Insiders will know that someone with this name recently popped up on our public Discord server who was formerly known as Brother Michigan. But today he is Dim Gray Cavefish. But RX 6900 is codenamed Sienna Cichlid, according to the rumors. That's Navi 21 silicon, 80 compute units, as has been widely reported for Big Navi, which equals 5,120 streaming processors. And then Navy Flounder is presumably the name of Navi 22, which only has 40 compute units, so 2560 on the streaming processor count. That's the same as the 5700 XT. And then the dim gray cavefish, they don't have any real numbers for, or even any speculation about it, apparently, at least not at this outlet. What do you think about the return of a 40 CU product? I mean, obviously, the next generation architecture will have major improvements with efficiency, power, performance, but
Yeah, do you think that's like, I don't know, just a guess. Is it 10%, 20%? So RDNA 2 40 CUs is going to be at same CU count 10%
Why-
better than 5700 XT?
it'll be more than
20
10%.
But maybe it'll
20%?
have ray tracing. It's gonna have
Okay.
it's gonna have
Yep,
hardware
good
ray
point.
tracing.
Yeah, it's
good
going to
point.
have ray tracing of some sort.
Yeah, their
Yeah.
version 1 of ray tracing.
So I've heard that their version is a little bit better than NVIDIA version 1,
Granted.
but we don't know how it compares to version 2.
Yep.
Because they've got at least, a little bit of hindsight 2020 when probably hearing initially and seeing, some of the software examples coming out to the partners. It's like, here's how you enable RTX and what it does. And they're like, maybe we need to redo some of this stuff. But, that's just competition. But, yeah, it's
When they're
going to be
going
interesting.
open like they did FreeSync as well, right? They're going more for the DX ray tracing
Oh, yeah.
compatible
Yeah,
hardware as
DX.
opposed to a proprietary NVIDIA thing.
Proprietary, yeah.
I can see their performance out of the gate being impressive as well if it's accompanied by, they have obviously the big resolution scaling push with Radeon image sharpening. They could try to promote ray tracing along with RIS and say, hey, here's an equivalent product to DLSS that doesn't require any AI overhead and, whatever. So that might be their marketing spin on that.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I hope they're listening, but if, history proves they aren't. NVIDIA's really been pushing system latency. The idea that there is a difference between you making a mouse movement and it appearing on your screen. And so with the new Amperes, they've been pushing this for the most part on a per game basis. But the idea being that one day you'll be able to, with a G-Sync monitor, plug your mouse directly into your monitor
Yeah.
and have it measure the latency.
Interesting.
And
Yeah.
therefore, you're going to get, not for us, but for the young people that still have the split millisecond reflexes. Now, AMD, on the other hand, has FreeSync going for them strong, or FreeSync 2 now, if you're shopping for something a little more modern. And there is possibly an idea here that they ignore the game. It's simply the graphics card talking directly to the monitor and monitoring the synchronization that way, not just necessarily saying that you're going to be removing the latency, but even to the point of, I'm running at this many frames, at this frame rate, monitor that's FreeSync 2, you're talking the same language I am, fix it now. And so I'm hoping that they're hiding something like this in the back and just not saying anything about it, because it's not impossible, but I don't know. I don't know if they can actually pull it off.
Oh, they've paid attention to some of their latency issues in the past. There's always hope.
What about Radeon anti-lag? Whatever
Yes,
happened
that.
there?
Yes, exactly.
What happened to it?
The one thing I wanted to mention was the whole memory bandwidth thing, because the
You mean
specs, if you go to video
256,
cards,
192.
yeah, 256 is top apparently, and then 192 for the
is
cut down.
Yep.
I also don't fully understand why 40 and 80, unless they're leaving room in the middle for a 64 CU product, depending on what their strategy is versus NVIDIA and what NVIDIA is waiting for with regard to AMD. Because, of course, they're playing games with each other.
Yeah. Seems like a
And-
big gap.
Yeah.
And I can imagine the 80 CU unit easily being, 60+% over the top of 5700 XT, which in my mind places it pretty strongly near 3080 territory.
Here's what
Not
I don't
bad.
get. Like already, the current RDNA stuff is a little bandwidth starved as far as memory goes. If
Mhm.
you can overclock the memory, you get better performance. We
Yeah.
obviously saw that with the 5600 XT launch, either early this year or last year when they relaunched it with faster memory. You got much better performance, well
What a
above.
fiasco, but yeah.
It was, yeah. But I mean, you could overclock the core on that thing, and you got very little,
But it was the
2%. If
You're
you overclock the memory, you got huge gains. So
Yeah.
256 on GDDR6 doesn't sound that great to me, because they're not on 6X, and this is not an HBM product. So I'm interested to see how this plays out, unless this is totally wrong. But you'd think that they'd want to be they wouldn't want to be memory bandwidth starved with an ADCU card.
Yeah.
We have no idea.
No.
We just don't know.
It's fun to talk about.
It is. What is next on the list? Oh, okay. Another acquisition. This is what has been going on this year. All sorts of chaos and acquisitions. And
Vultures circling.
Oh, for God's sakes. How
Microsoft.
many bugs do we need?
Microsoft is acquiring Bethesda Softworks and parent company ZeniMax.
It will make
Media.
Cortana better.
In all seriousness,
Now
I
you'll
think
get
this,
dialogue, please.
I honestly think this might improve some of the Bethesda software. Call me crazy.
Well, here's the deal. Microsoft needs to port Skyrim to Zune.
Wait,
Sure.
the return of Zune as a handheld gaming device?
It's about the only thing that
and a
Skyrim's
phone.
not ported to, so
You can't play Skyrim on Mr. Coffee yet, is the problem.
not yet.
You know,
Play it
Zoom
on a
made
birth
brown
control
sexy,
or a birth.
okay? And that sounds weird, even as I say it, but the Zune was a nice-looking piece of hardware, and it was very brown
It was brown.
Brown.
at first.
Did you ever see the picture of it floating in a toilet? It seemed at home.
Mhm.
I will not be adding that visual.
Hey, please do.
I'll probably just edit that whole thing out, actually.
Damn
No, I
it.
won't.
Damn
More
you.
editing equals more work.
Damn you.
$7.5 billion for this.
Yeah,
And
seriously.
it was only worth like 4.5 when they
Yeah.
got bought out last time. Which
Yeah,
was
but
less
when
than
you
a year
have-
ago.
But when you have so many billions, what are you going to do with it? Taxes? Spend it.
This is just Microsoft. Microsoft probably had somebody inside the company who was upset that the liner notes weren't included with the Quake LP re-release the other
Now,
day.
If you listen to their discussion when they talked about the acquisition, they said that, it's all about the people. We've been working together for so long and we worked together really well. And, we were so synonymous with some of our launches and you guys helped us and we had a great party on your behalf. And hey, thanks for doubling up your memory and your Xbox. And we think you guys are great. And you know what? You guys are great too. Let's get together. That's kind of how it was.
Or Microsoft now owns, all the id properties. They have
There's-
Fallout,
Yes.
gives them Wolfenstein and Doom, of course, and the Elder
Could've been worse.
Scrolls.
Could have been Disney.
Yeah, that's true. At some point, Disney just has to stop, right? Because then they'll just
No.
they'll own all media. I thought there were supposed to be laws to protect one company from taking over the world, but
Except for the mouse.
Yeah.
There's literal exceptions written in.
well, it's
occasionally.
because they spend so much on lobbying every year and change laws. But yeah. Oh wait, something about Fallout 4, sort of tangentially related story here.
Yeah,
Jeremy.
well,
Well, it's a
Jeremy-
mod, not a DLC.
Oh, it
it's-
is.
Oh, it's mod.
It's a DLC-sized mod that they've been
Okay.
plugging away at for,
Oh.
2 or 3 years. But from the looks of it, it is just about done. And I mean, come on, Fallout on the beaches of Miami. What could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong?
The usual stuff in Fallout.
Yeah.
That's what goes wrong.
But I mean, you get a 4-barreled shotgun,
And
which is already
aliens.
available. You can already install that as a mod on just any other Fallout 4 that's going on. But it looks like a lot of fun. I mean, I've been bashing around with some of the other mods, and some of them, they may still be a little crippled, but literally they're still working on it and devoting a huge amount of time to try and fix any and everything that goes wrong with them. So it's kind of interesting to see what is going to happen with this one, which we don't have an exact release date. You can grab the original one from a couple of years back, which doesn't look anything as good as this, but gives you an idea what they're going to be doing, because of course it's not just a pretty new area. They've got a bunch of new factions to deal with. I'm sure you get to build something beautiful in the swamp and then sell it to somebody. Maybe a bridge. They've got walking alligators, which is going to be a bad. Although I want to see one fight a death claw at some point.
Hey, Microsoft's not going to put the kibosh on any of the mods and DLCs, community builds, do you think?
Oh, UWP totally supports modding.
Okay.
They
Uh-huh.
love the community, Brett. Don't worry.
I am worried because I
Microsoft loves you.
haven't really started my Fallout 4 campaign yet. So
You're fine. Just offline single player, then the experience is the same every time.
I think you're making fun of me now.
Yeah, New California
No, I
is the
mean,
one I'm still
there are lots of
bashing
people
at
who
that's
are.
having issues. And Lord, we can only hope that there won't be that asshole showing up every once in a while saying that there is a settlement in danger.
I don't get the reference, but
You didn't play Fallout 4 then?
I did not.
No, me neither.
We are actually through
New Vegas.
all of the topics. And
I
I've
could have
only
added
been-
more. I could have
we've been
added
recording
more.
for 43 minutes.
I could have added more, but you told me to stop the killing. Please don't kill anyone else. You said. Hey,
Okay.
hey, what's that?
Ooh, looks like Josh's pick of the week.
Hey, Josh also has
Not
a
my
strong
pick of
pair
the
of
week.
arms.
Because you really can't get a hold of this very easily.
How are you holding it?
I got really lucky. Really lucky. It's the EVGA RTX 3080 XC3 Gamer, I think. It's the 3883 model. It is the $749 one. And the only difference between it and the $699, this one's got a backplate, and the $699
Shiny.
one doesn't.
Okay, so what I have pulled up is the wrong one then, because it does not. It's $699. So that means back.
Yeah,
no
that's the
backplate.
no backplate one. I have
Yeah, and I
a-
think they're going to probably sell very, very few of those, just enough to, get
Wait.
that $699. Hey, we've got a $699 offering.
Josh,
can't really
I have
buy
a
it.
notification on that one. Tell me when it's in stock.
Uh-huh.
Tell me I'm a fool,
Okay.
aren't I?
You maybe, but I think that everybody else is going to have models that are going to be above that $699 price pretty consistently.
But is that like a gamer backplate or is it a gamer gate?
Did it? Did it come?
who's
we're
asking?
just moving right along.
Name
Did it
Brianna?
come with a bracket? Did it
Does
come
it-
with this attractive bracket?
Does
in
the
the
It
box?
does.
the
It
backplate
does
do
have
you
a
any
bracket.
good there? Does the backplate do you any good? What is it doing for you there?
It doesn't actually touch any of the components except maybe in the back. There's
All right.
no, it doesn't
Does
touch
it
any
enhance the rigidity of the PCB?
Yes, it does.
See,
All right.
that's what you want.
This is not light.
You're saying I
That's
will
pretty
not get my
significant
money's
fan.
worth at $699 without a backplate.
And
Get
do
the
you
back.
remember back in the the Radeon
Hey, it has a mustache.
5870? It had the red stenciling around the back. Well, they've kind of gotten this, and so what is it like the Dodge Charger?
Oh yeah.
They've got the big rear lights kind of looking like that. So
People don't.
yeah,
people don't
we'll
like
be
it,
we'll be
Josh.
plugging this
They don't want
into
red
the
on
test
their
bench.
NVIDIA card.
Hey, EVGA said they were going to send out different color covers
Oh,
for the
okay.
stripes and stuff, so you can.
personalize it.
Yep, Josh is going to match his RGB aesthetics. So I know he's all about the RGB.
Yeah.
Probably.
But no, that was the last thing to show off. I mean, it was a hard fought thing to try to get that, and I actually purchased it myself. So
I
don't
think
tell me why.
I think 99% of the people are really jealous.
Yes.
How many people did you have to kill to get that card?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Aren't you going to be really pissed when Big Navi comes out and it's better and half the price?
That would be nice. I would be happy.
I would be ecstatic.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jeremy, he could sell it for a profit used. and
Ah,
buy
I
the
get
damn
Big
it,
Navi
you're right.
card.
Have you
could
seen
probably
the price
actually
of-
double your money right now, Josh?
Yeah, even though, yeah.
Have you seen the price of 1080 Ti's?
Yeah, they're what,
It's all
$1,200?
Well, $600.
Yeah.
Even more than I thought.
Yep.
Josh, you had a more practical pick though, as I shift
Yes,
over.
it's on sale right now for $69. It's a Cooler Master all-in-one 240 millimeter twin fan monstrosity. I think I have the predecessor to this one, and it's another $10 off coupon that you can apply to it, and for $59 you have pretty good overall all-in-one cooling that is cheaper than some of the higher end air cooled units. So this is a nice it's a nice quality product that fits all kinds of stuff, and if you want slightly lower temperatures and a little bit less noise, these are nice units for the price.
It's been a while. I tested an ML240 a long time ago, and it was very quiet. The fans are very quiet. I can't remember if the pump was audible or not, but this is the sort of revised version, the L. So it's the newer version.
But cheap, dirt cheap, crazy.
Jeremy, you have a pick. I think I don't have a link.
It's because I'm desperately going because my other two are better.
Okay. Well,
I was gonna pick the power supply that I had to buy because as I got home from the pub on Monday and was unloading, I looked over because I heard this bang and saw this wee little fireball sort of arcing across my doorway. And I went and I looked, and sure enough, the old i7 920 was powered off, and I just immediately unplugged everything and took a look at it, and I don't even know if you can see it. Okay, it hasn't actually become a kitty toy. I was worried that now there was a power supply running around somewhere in my house. See that black spot there? That shouldn't be there. That's a bad thing. That's the capacitor that got really, really mad and blowed up.
Is that a vintage PSU, Jeremy?
Well, I mean, it powered the Q6600 as well.
Wow.
It was a Cooler Master 550, the P-Car E3. So it's been kicking for well over a decade. So I got no complaints about that at all.
What did you get to replace it?
Another Supernova. The old EVJ there, back there. Now they make pretty good ones. That one's been solid. I'm getting a kilowatt one because I might be upgrading soon and might want a little bit of extra juice.
Yes, especially if you're getting a 30 series because those micro power bursts that people are starting to measure and talk about. I know
it's going to be interesting.
Talked about that. Like it'll go up to like 450 watts. The new 3090 will just momentarily.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also going to be interesting to see how it does with my first gen Threadripper 1900X too, because there are some also issues where the GPU gets bored of waiting for the CPU, and the game crashes.
Yeah, that CPU is not enough for the 3090. I'm sorry.
Well, this is why I'm waiting until October to make any decisions because there are certain things happening. And by Jove, by then, Jensen might even have some stock back. I'm not holding my breath, but it's possible.
Anything's possible. What is this about the interference issue?
So I want this TV. I want someone to find out what this bloody TV was. You may have heard about this on yes, a variety of news channels. This is in Wales. There is a village that every morning at 7 a.m. lost internet. Boom, gone. British Telecom spent about a month trying to figure out why in the hell at every morning around about 7 a.m. boom, the DSL service died in the village. They replaced cables. They did tests. They hired new people to come in. They kept looking. Eventually started driving around in a van with a really, really fancy spectrum analyzer to try and figure out what's going on. And they found this one household with an ancient CRTV, which somehow was sending out a high-level impulse noise enough to frickin' knock out the entry, and it was positioned as such that this is the main line coming into the village for the internet, that it interfered with the whole input. Boom.
Was it a wooden case, furniture style TV?
It has to be.
It's got
it has to be.
With
And
the
in Wales,
integrated
I bet you
phonograph.
didn't have a TV license either. But I want to know what model this is, and I want to know if we can find it.
You bastard.
Not just for testing purposes. Nothing nefarious here.
Sure, exactly.
But it's amazing. And it took them like over a year because, I mean, God knows. I had a specific office in Bellevue that would lose connection to the Wi-Fi randomly. And it was set on two sides with elevators in the middle. And after me and a network guy were down there specifically to do some upgrades and to try and figure out what the hell was going on, we realized that if an elevator was going down and coming up, it was enough to block the connection Wi-Fi from the source, which we weren't allowed to run away wires over to the actual office. And that was why it kept dropping off randomly, was because you had an intersection of the two elevators blocking the signal. And that was a pain in the ass to discover, so I can only imagine the frustration these guys felt before they found this out. Apparently, the man has promised to buy a new TV. I figure that the village should pretty much go in and buy him a new TV, because otherwise I'll just turn it on again.
Hey, you know what? Everybody who spends 20 years in IT support has one of those freaky stories.
So many. So yeah, if we have any Welsh fans, please, and I'm sure that you know the name of the village and can pronounce it, because it's probably got a single vowel in it and the rest are consonants. So I'm not even going to try.
My boss just recently told a story kind of like that. He worked at a bank, and this lady's check reader just would stop working for no particular reason. And so he's in there and he's, messing around, he's unplugging, he's, updating things, he's doing that. And he's like, Dad, would you just turn off that fan? And he turns off the fan and the thing just started reading checks. It's like, and the lady was going through menopause. So she was, she had the fan on like all the time. So yeah, he turned the fan off. Check reader just automatically started working. Magic. It's all magic.
A non-logic server would have prevented that EM.
It would have. Buy on Logic.
I operate on Logic.
We have one more pick, since I don't have one again. Brett, Micro Center. This is a good deal.
Yeah, it's a really good deal. And last week, if you reviewed the video, even though I'm wearing headphones, sometimes I can't hear properly because there's just words in my ears and I'm just not listening. Jeremy was trying to explain that it was in Canadian dollars, and I was fixated on the wrong dollar figure.
I tried to set you straight, but you were so adamant.
No. I was just I don't know what happened. I don't want to talk about it anymore. That's as much as I'm willing to admit. But I'm willing to redeem myself and recommend that somebody go out and buy a 9900K. Again, homage to Jeremy. Thank you very much. But this time, locals only.
Yes.
Locals only. Wander into your local Micro Center and do pick it up for $359 plus your local tax out the door, which is converted to $479 Canadian, which is, I think, actually even cheaper than Jeremy's last week.
Yep.
I think we need to recommend the 9900K every week, someone, until it goes away.
It's in stock at my local store.
Thing now?
Yeah. Hey, $359 is pretty freaking good.
But it's what? It was 2018?
Yeah.
When this came out? Like, it's over 2 years old.
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm still looking at it, and especially with, a lot of the benchmarks coming out with the new video card that nobody really wants to talk about. It's a compelling buy.
Yeah, I gotta agree.
Jeremy, you wouldn't have to feel bad because you'd be getting the latest architecture from Intel by buying it, even though it is 2 years old.
What do you mean by latest architecture? Explain that, please.
Well, it's Skylake. So
I don't understand. It's 2 years old.
$359 for 8 cores, 16 threads. I mean, obviously, AMD fans are laughing at you for even considering this. Because you get a 3700X or something. But
Intel single core is still a little bit better. Single core.
This one probably overclocks. A lot of these 9900
5
Ks, you could
gigahertz.
get it up to 5 gigahertz. Yeah, 5 gigahertz.
Maybe
all
5.1
cores,
on
perhaps?
a golden chip, maybe 5.1 ish.
It's all those
Yeah.
pluses next to the process node.
I also have to circle back around and say, are we really wearing our Intel shill on the outside if we don't constantly recommend an Intel chip in this AMD age? I'm sorry. I don't think we can be the proper AMD or the proper Intel shill unless we're recommending an Intel chip. Almost.
Look,
Oh yes, children, it is the age of AMD.
I said it.
The Celeron 300 is hard to beat for value.
You
for its
know,
overclocking
True.
headroom.
300.
2
A.
cores are better than 1.
2 cores. That's the future, Brett.
It is.
But I hear that
Someday.
AMD has a really hot chip coming with the
CFX. It's
new
the
slot
FX.
A. That's it. I have no picks. I have nothing else. Do you guys have anything else?
I'm going to create a pick for you, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, you have been.
Yep.
If you read the picks in the show notes, I'm sure everybody goes to pcper.com/podcast, reads Brett's posts on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
To read, because he adds things. He adds little extras that aren't in the YouTube comment or YouTube description. And he adds picks for me that are
I can't-
unauthorized. He claims they're my picks. I have nothing to do with them.
I can't stop myself. I don't even know who's doing it.
Can't be worse than some of the stuff I've picked for Ryan or Josh,
It's like another personality.
or the stuff Alan used to pick for himself.
Nubbins.
Rubber Nubbins really did lower the
You know
bar.
what? I'm gonna start putting on Alan Malventano picks just to see if he notices.
Just old ones? Recycle old ones. That's
Oh
all you
my
need to
gosh.
do for mine. Just go
That
back
was-
10 years and use one of Alan's. Or 9 years, however long
You know
it
what?
was. that
You're actually buying that hardware now. So yeah.
I'm
that's
not.
legitimate.
I will say that I've stopped buying vintage hardware as of about 6 months ago. So
Oh.
what I have is what I have. It's just getting more vintage. It's in the vintage computer cellar, getting
Now
more.
I understand why you're sitting around with a bunch of bare shelves and just one little plant.
Well,
you're
this is another
trying to
story.
pretend that you've gotten rid of everything and are living an austere lifestyle.
You should explain what the hell is going on in your basement.
We could. I mean, my pick of the week. Actually, here's my pick of the week. My pick of the week is my city came in and said my water, which used to come in on a different wall, it needs to come in on this wall directly behind me. So they just drilled right in through from the outside and brought in a new water pipe. And then they put this. It's just out of frame, but they put in a new copper water pipe right in the middle of my work area.
So if it springs a leak, it's going to make testing really interesting.
Well, I never wanted to be anywhere near water with all this stuff, and now I literally have
But
to
just
take everything
think of the
else out and
grounding
move.
you can get that close to your
It's true.
machines.
And
True.
the cooling. Why don't you tap into
Yeah.
it?
So
Yeah.
all
No,
my
that
vintage
is your
games and
custom
everything that were on
water
the shelves
cooler
back here, they're all
flow.
gone. I had to move
No, that's a
everything.
custom water cooling loop right there.
I could tap into it. It wouldn't really affect anything.
Not a thing.
Fresh city water flowing through and then back out again. and
Because
going to the
Michigan
sink.
City water is world famous.
It is. It's very high quality. That's why they're
And-
going through and replacing all the
Well,
pipes.
on the
Because they're
plus side,
saying-
many water cooling blocks use lead in them, so you're not going to get much
Yeah.
binding there.
They didn't say there was lead, but they said they had to replace all the pipes.
I understand lead might carry some of that heat away. It's got some sort of heat carrying capacity.
It's true.
Yeah, that's how toner works, right? Little lead particles.
Insulation on
So I
nuclear
shouldn't be
reactors.
snowing
Iron.
that?
It might be iron. If you know how toner works, call the PC Per hotline, which doesn't exist anymore, but did.
It's piezoelectric, but let's not talk about that.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
No.
So yeah, until next week, thank you for listening and or watching.
Good night.
Sure, good night.
Yes. Hey, that show was almost exactly 1 hour. If I just don't
That's
edit
sweet.
it, it's 1 hour and 1 minute long.
Yeah,
Perfect.
sorry guys, I didn't think you were going to wait for me. I figured I'd pop into a
Well,
most
He
of
had,
the
he
time
had
just
troubles. So
I don't know what we were doing for like 20 minutes. I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be glad to switch over to VMX or some other solution because it's very confusing to remember which Skype account has to call the other Skype account to actually allow me to have a square. This works
Have you
great. I just
considered
host it,
renaming
I'm not on it.
Incidentally, I did get the notice that we would be getting vMix.
Okay. Yeah. See, so if you're watching, vMix could be coming back, higher quality video, and especially audio. Audio
Especially
bad over
audio.
Skype.
Yeah,
That's
it's the
right.
audio and VMix
Skype is
that's-
freaking crushing the audio.
Yeah. It's like 64K BPS or lower. It might be 32 because it's a mono track.
With extra special clipping adding.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind the leveling so much because it makes it easier to edit down the podcast because all the levels are pretty much brick walled, but the quality is so bad.
People have been asking about Jim. He's on definitely medical sabbatical.
Indefinite, yes. There
Yes.
was no timetable for return.
Yeah.
Yep. We're
But thanks for
basically
asking.
on our own.
Yeah, this was one of those things where I suggested, hey, we should keep doing this. We should do this after we'd taken like 3 or 4 weeks off.
Yeah.
Josh and I did a thing one night, our little fireside
Ooh.
chat, and then we tried a podcast the next week that was so horrendous, and I didn't know what I was doing as far as video editing. So this is literally the result of figuring out how to use DaVinci Resolve and just pushing on and just making it happen anyway.
Josh, there's cries.
Talking about things from different perspectives.
I like that.
That is really good.
What? Or something
Look
from
at
the
what-
Discord?
Well, he might be tied off.
What is he doing?
What?
He's dying for a
He's
Cliff
turning
Bar.
Cliff Bar upside down, and it's a guy dying from mountain climbing accident.
I see that.
Well, all a matter of perspective.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
funny.
if you're worried that you're not motivated enough, remember, Mount Everest is full of a bunch of dead, motivated people that are still there.
Hey, they're recovering those bodies occasionally.
Yeah.
Just to let you know.
Hey, climate
once
change
in a
will actually
while.
help that.
The great thaw is upon us.
Climate change will not make the air thicker up there.
No, but it might, melt a little bit so they start sliding back down.
Maybe. All right, I got to get out of here. It's been a long
Yes.
day.
Thanks
So
for hanging
It
in
really
with us.
has.
Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing your 3080 with us.
We're
I'm
2
not
episodes
sharing
away
it
from
with anybody.
600 too. Don't forget. Episode after next, the big 600. I don't know
Coming
what that
up.
means.
So, but is it going to be Johnny Shee, $5.99? Thank
There
you.
should be
Yes,
a
thank you.
cake or
Thank you.
something.
well, I'll ask him on.
All right. All right.
All right.
Good night, guys.
Good night,
Good
Josh.
night. See you
Yeah.
later.
What's it going to do to our squares?
Ooh! What
Double me with the horrible secondary camera.
Oh my gosh, you have to continue to. And I've got a nose and a spatula.
Yep. Hold on. You move my video over the other video. And that was the wrong size too. Like it's all jacked up.
Let's get
Yeah, but-
vMix.
And the copper pipe was in frame in the other with the other camera.
Yeah, now it's not.
Right
Now
in the
it's gone.
freaking way. And here's the really bad thing. Like I didn't come down here and supervise the guy. I was up and down the stairs because of course
Why is it sticking
care of
so
myself.
far out from the wall?
Why
you're-
is the elbow there?
He
is my
wanted to run
serious
it
question.
along the ceiling, and I had my shelves up, and I'm like, he's like, you gotta move the desk. So I'm like, all right, do I have to move the shelves? He's like, no, the shelves are fine. Okay, whatever. And I thought he was going either straight up this wall or down along the floor. Oh no,
You had
he went
one
around
job.
the shelves. He literally, I came back downstairs and he was gone, and there was copper pipe like up against the front of my shelves. Like, are you kidding me? That's why I could leave the shelves
he
up?
cut and sweated 2 extra joints.
Exactly, which I could just do myself. I can shut off the water.
you
and
might
replace
want
this,
to.
but
Yeah,
Only
I
two.
mean, seriously.
You know what? Cutting and sweating some copper pipe is really, really pretty easy.
is it? I've never done it.
Yeah.
I was gonna do packs.
Well, it's easier after you've done it a couple of times,
Do
but
you-
no, it's not that bad.
Do you have a propane torch?
No, but I could buy one for the
It's-
occasion.
You'll need one. And you need some flux and some solder, and it's really easy to do.
Do you have a Radeon 7?
Because if you hold the Radeon 7 up to the copper,
Better. I've got an R9 290X reference card with the hot press BIOS.
Oh, there you
go.
600 degrees ought to do it. So you should just sink the raw chip right up against the copper pipe. That'll melt that solder right in. It's going to be sweet. It's going to work out fantastic. You may not even need flux.
Hey,
Is that a 290X? you say?
The lead in the water will make it easier. Thank you, Tox.
Appropriate name.
I have a 290X, the old
Hold my
RB290X.
beer while I sweat this copper.
I think a 1080 Ti Founders Edition card produces about as much heat. It will melt the
True.
connector off the back of your
Right.
card.
Is it 900 watts or 1200 watts? What is that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
Corinne says, "Do not encourage him to cut our pipes unless you're willing to help fix the aftermath."
I'll be
Look, I moved
right.
all the valuable stuff away. All this stuff is just temporarily set up on two tables right now.
I'll be
It'll all be
right
out of the
there.
vicinity.
I am 3.5 days away.
3.5 days away. No. But do you drive like 6 hours a day?
Well, you know what? I'm
Hours a day.
gonna turn it into a little vacation. So I'm gonna probably stop and see some things on the way. I'm gonna maybe take some tours and stuff. I'm just not gonna drive straight through. It's Michigan.
I'm at this like southwestern part of Michigan. I'm like go over the border from Indiana and drive about 45 minutes. You're
Yeah,
here.
that's gonna take a while. I'm outside of Washington D.C.
Okay. That's not that bad of a drive. You can do it in one day. It's about 20 hours.
Jeremy's in the North Pole, actually.
It's not even 20
far as
hours.
I
What is
know.
it? Hey, Corinne, you've been to DC in a car from here. How long did it take you and your friends to get to DC? I thought you went to some conference.
4 days.
It did not take 4 days. I thought they
you
all
ever-
took turns driving. It was one day.
Have you ever driven the traffic around here? No matter which direction you go in.
It's
Yeah,
bad.
2
Yeah,
days
it's bad
just
once
to
you
get
get
out
into
of the
DC.
city.
We don't measure it in miles. We measure it in hours.
It is about apple picking time in Michigan. You're right, coulda, woulda. We do that right around late September, early October. We usually go and get Honeycrisp at the orchard down the road.
You could send me some of
Such
those.
an Apple
I-
fanboy.
I
Damn.
like apples.
Yeah.
Hey, how'd your Mac user turn out there, Jeremy?
And we kicked it. Although his keyboard died.
On his laptop?
Stunning.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't.
Who would have
specify
guessed?
This is the old trash can Mac.
Oh.
This is an old, still functioning trash can Mac.
That's actually not as old as you think it
vintage.
was.
Yeah, 2013 was when that was launched.
Yeah,
Yep.
but they stopped selling it like yesterday.
Well, we didn't get this one yesterday. Nor was I born yesterday. No, it finally fixed it. I'm frustrated because literally the only way that you can have an Apple on a corporate network is to have admin access. And that's just something I'm constitutionally against. But apparently there's an exception made for those people.
C-suite?
No,
Mm.
but supports C-suite.
Ah, there you go.
So in a way, more important. And by
Oh.
that I mean in every way more important.
Definitely, because they have that guy on speed dial.
But no, this was more of a, we're going to switch antivirus vendors. And we're going to give you plenty of time to do it. You can roll it out for your GPO. It's all wonderful and everything. Oh, wait, the other AV is going to keep charging us unless we can prove that we've removed everything. That was my Monday. We have till the end of the week. I don't actually know anymore, but I think this is Thursday.
For a while, for 15 more minutes here on the East.
Goody.
Coast.
Okay. So technically, I still have another day.
Yeah, you're good.
I love bean counters
Hey,
so
hey,
much.
Moksha 43 basements do fill with water, often in Michigan. Not this basement, my friend, because the entire foundation of the house was dug out, and this ridiculous like $7,000 or $8,000 gutter system was installed, which
Nice.
goes to a special drain and a pump and all this stuff. So if water gets close to the foundation, it is sucked away. And it was guaranteed for life, no water entry. And that was about 15 years ago.
Whose life?
I've been here, not here
Yes.
in this corner, but I've been in this house for 15 years. I bought this house in July of 2005.
Wow.
Yes, official 3090 owner, but down there they call it a freedom drain.
It's not a French
My
strain.
brother just went through this as well. And
That'd be French strain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're brilliant. They are worth every freaking penny you can put out. Oh wait, we don't have to worry rough show. So every fucking penny you can put on it.
Yeah. That's,
Yeah, we're post show. This is fine. You can
You
swear.
can do whatever you want.
Just no nudity.
No, it's better than replacing the membrane.
Well, there can be a small amount of nudity, but it has to be quick.
I was showing naked pussies earlier today.
See?
Two
There
of
you
them.
go. Those
Or
are cats.
apparently, I don't know what they're.
Those are
killing,
actually four-legged cats for people who weren't here earlier.
but- yes. Well, no, they're still kittens. They're
Okay.
4.5 months. Coming up on
No.
5.
No cat on cat action. No.
Well, they're coming up on 5 months, so that's becoming a concern.
Okay. Yeah. They have to go to
Brother
the-
and sister, and likely already inbred. Farm cats, you can't really stop them from.
Do they have like any extra claws or anything?
No,
Anything
and to be
that they-
honest, the 3 from the litter, of which I got 2, none of them look at all the same. You've seen the 2 that I showed today. The other brother looks like a Burmese. That pure silverish gray with just the dark tips on the ears and the paws. So there may be multiple fathers here. I don't judge their mother. Heat is heat.
Yeah, we say that. Never. No, we don't say that.
Oy vey.
Somebody's saying, does it ever last long? Like, yes. In fact, look at some of our older podcasts just in the 590s, like 594, 592. We were doing 2+ hour podcasts, and the stream was 3 hours. So
Hey,
we've
I
brought it down.
I deleted number 7 and number 8. You know what? Yeah, I
What do you
could have
mean you
gone
deleted
on.
number 7 and number 8.
I could have. I had more in there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, on the list.
Yes.
I
And I'm
see.
like, oh my gosh, I've got too much in there already.
Oh, not the podcast, the nudity. I see. Okay,
Uh,
I misunderstood
what-
you.
What were we talking about
He's
again?
Edvic. I am completely. Yeah, you've watched every podcast for years, so you know that sometimes it's a little out of hand. We get very long-winded at
Like for
times.
the first 20 minutes of this show, whatever happened there. I'm not even
I'm
sure
not
what
sure
happened.
what. I don't remember any of it. Honestly, I
No, and
don't remember this until I go to edit it.
The weird thing is it went on for 20 minutes and then you hit record.
Oh,
So you'll
that
never-
no, I don't.
you'll never
know.
see it
It's
again.
not recorded.
No, it's gone. That like never happened.
Patrons will see it because
Oh yeah,
the unlisted
it's true.
secret videos that go up on our YouTube that go to our Patreon patrons, I guess. Just like the special edition GeForce Noir
Yes.
film that I made. It was an
Oh my
art
gosh.
film.
You know
I
what?
still
No
wanted
nudity.
to watch that. and I
4K.
had time.
It made me. I teared up. You know what?
I have to say,
did.
I intentionally made the black and white footage look old, but when you go to the new card, this 3080 here, it's such a clear shot that you can see like every nuance of it in 4K. It's really astonishing. It's like looking at the photo from the raw file.
I wanted to use those pictures as eBay scams. That was how I was.
You know what?
I
And
was
you
so
wouldn't have been
moved.
alone.
What
I was
stopped
so
you?
moved
The picture
by your photography.
that I took of this card with a purple background, which you can't see because of the lighting and this shitty setup I have right here, but that has been on multiple eBay listings, and I just gave up. At one point, I was like, I'm going to do like takedowns on these because this is our copyrighted work, and it's people just trying to be funny because they're selling a photo. If you read the description, it's like you're not buying a card, you're buying an 8x10 photo. So they're just printing off photos from different reviews. Presumably, if somebody actually bought this,
Oh, like the guy who sold the iPhone box.
right? It's like you're
Well-
getting an envelope with 3 photos in it.
Yeah,
At least he's honest.
sort of.
Oh yeah, Linux game, Linux Gamecast 3-hour stream. Nice. Okay, try like 5-hour stream. You want the intense streaming experience.
You got
They
to
are
play the
intense.
long game.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the real deal. This isn't even like the pre-shows in
No.
of the Linux
You know
Gamecast.
what? Next time, if nobody stops me from killing, I'll put 10. I'll put 10 topics on there. I won't be
and
stopped.
I'll interrupt people and say, "Okay, let's move on. We've talked about this enough." I haven't perfected yet the Ryan Shrout polite but firm podcast hosting style. Or
How would that work?
Because he would just say, "Okay, enough. Let's move on." He would politely interrupt without making himself look like an a-hole.
It took years, nay, decades of practice to perfect that.
Yeah, because I've heard the old shows. You can go back and, if you can still find them. I think the first few podcasts, there's a few missing pieces there, but you can go on the Internet Archive, a couple other sources, and listen to like podcasts. At least I think it goes back to like podcast 9 or 10. Pretty quiet. It was a little awkward. People just went on when they'd finish talking. He would go on to the next topic. There's a skill involved. I don't have the skill yet. You have to have a feel for when one person is kind of done talking. It's very hard to do remotely. It's a lot easier when you're just sitting next to somebody.
We honestly did like 10 things in an hour, or like 8 things.
It wasn't bad.
Not bad.
It wasn't bad.
No, he perfected that skill remotely.
Uh-huh.
He literally had no one to slap until Ken came around, and then now.
I think Lee was local at first in the early days.
Yeah, but he was still doing it remote.
Was he really? He was just
Well,
doing
the
it
first couple, I think he came over to visit, but
Okay.
mostly he was doing it remote.
Interesting.
Because Ryan doesn't approve of the music that Lee and I listen to.
What kind of music do you listen to?
Yeah, really.
It's very loud and hard, and
Okay.
sometimes involves a double bass drum. And... Right, that's
What,
not
Ginger
all that I
Baker?
listen to.
You listen to exclusively to Cream. with Ginger Baker.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Yes.
Swedish death metal.
Ryan was always just listening to pop. Like I
It
thought
doesn't
it
have
was.
to be just Swedish. I mean,
It could be German.
It's not just a shtick. If you ever tuned into one of the old live streams or something, or if you were ever visiting the office, it was always just like Taylor Swift, Britney Spears, just light pop music.
That's terrible.
musical ear candy for the musically unwashed.
Yeah. Hey, do we have any questions out there?
Yeah.
I should
Ask
scroll
away.
back, and there's probably like half a dozen that like scrolled away.
I would say we could go to our questions page on the
Oh yeah.
Discord.
You want to save those for the
Yeah,
for
we need
the,
to. We should do mailbag soon because we've got quite a few good questions in here. Even if some of them have been answered, we can always present it on the mailbag
Hey,
show.
the electrical grounding one I think is rich for Josh advice.
Yes.
Favorite ITX case? I have a couple.
I got a couple new ones in that I need to look
Good.
at soon. Silverstone stuff.
Oh,
Ah.
yeah. I like the Dan case, actually.
I know it's the fit and finish on that one is outstanding. I've built with that once. I just send it back, but
It's one of my favorites. So the smaller you can get it, it's just seems it really fits the form factor.
good ventilation too because it was perforated on all sides.
All sides, yeah.
So you could put any GPU in it. You were really the problem with that case is that you're limited to low profile CPU cores. There was no space to put a liquid cooler for the CPU or a big CPU cooler on it.
Right. Noctua makes a reasonably sized one. Was that a 92 millimeter downdraft? Something like that?
Yeah,
That's it? Okay.
I prefer the Noctua coolers to the size of a ITX case, but that's
Mhm.
just me.
Yeah, it was a fairly reasonably sized downdraft cooler. It actually worked okay.
You know, Brett and I were talking recently about Mini ITX because of the fact that we're in a transition period with computer components where standards are changing. And
Mhm.
as my nose is plugged up now and I can barely speak, but the problem I have right now with Mini ITX and doing a Mini ITX build and spinning a bunch on a custom Mini ITX case, your board might not have Gen 4 PCIe yet, or maybe it does, but it might not have 10 gig E if that matters. If you want to add stuff later on down the road, you're exclusively going to be dealing with USB, basically, because you don't have any extra slots if you're using a discrete GPU. I guess you could do a slot adapter for like a second M.2 to a by 4 riser or something, but it's not going to fit in the case.
It might if the slot was in the back and your case had a little bit of room in the back, and then you used like an L adapter. But you're getting into some, some interesting aspects of the build out at that point. But nothing that personally I'm not willing to do.
Well, and a lot of those, the ITX motherboards nowadays are bright enough to actually put one in the back.
Yeah,
They figured out that's actually a really damn good idea.
I've got. The 370 and the 390 Asus boards, I think, did both sides with the
What are you killing?
NVMe.
Why?
But just to be clear, we're talking about NVMe 4X adapters to PCIe. If you wanted an extra card slot. It sounds a little crazy, but it's actually somewhat legit. I've got a 10 gig E card on a MATX board that's working just fine that way, actually.
Why not?
Yeah, it's in my Unraid build. It's working pretty good. I still have an article to build for that talks about the hardware configuration and then how that came together. So I've got that to put on the site. Working on that.
That's the sad thing because you're using micro ATX, not even mini ITX, and you're already running out of slots and have to use.
Absolutely. Because I needed, with a RAID or a NAS type device, you want to be able to plug as many hard drives in as possible, and you want to decrease bus contention. So you don't want to plug everything on motherboard SATA. I mean, then you're kind of crushing everything through one. Especially if it's an Intel board, one 4X set of lines, one 4X PCIe set to the chipset, basically. And that's probably not a good way to run your drives. So I got myself a HBA, host bus adapter PCIe card, and run most of my disks off of that. I run a couple of cache drives off SATA. Try and spread the I/O around a little bit. And I want to do some VMs, so I've got a couple of graphics cards in there. On the other slots, pretty soon MATX is running pretty scarce on slots. And if you want to run 10 gig E, I'm trying to convert my network to 10 gig E. I'm a little bit behind, I guess, on what the cool kids are. But I'm trying to convert everything over. So if you can't plug a 10 gig E card into a 1X PCIe slot, you can get 2.5. I think you can get 5 gig on it. Definitely 2.5. I'm not sure about 5.
2.5 is basically free. Like anything that'll run gigabit will run 2.5.
Definitely. But if you want to run 10, for sure, a 1X slot is not going to do you.
No. You gotta have by 4.
4 it's by 4.
Yep.
And if you can get a reliable NVMe converter to by 4, well, you can generate yourself a slot for that 10 gig E card, and that's what I did. And it's working fine. I mean, I'm not sure it's going to work at 10 gig E yet because I've got to get my MikroTik switch in here still. It's kind of expensive. You got to buy the switch, and then you got to buy the adapters to. I'm going to run Twisted Pair. Cat 6. I'm going to try some Cat 5e to see just how fast I can push it, but Cat 6 around the house.
Cat 6, no way. Gotta go Cat 7, man. This supposed Cat 7 from Amazon that I bought.
Sure.
Hey, a couple of questions I noticed in the chat recently scrolling up. One of them was about 3080 being potentially bottlenecked by a Ryzen 5 3600. I think the correct answer was below, which was basically like not at 4K. If you're at a high enough resolution that you're not CPU bound, no. But you will absolutely see a difference. Because 3600 does not have the highest single core performance. So if you're doing like lower resolution gaming, that's where the Intel processors always lead on all the gaming charts. But 1440 is kind of hit or miss. It depends on the game. Some games are more CPU.
No, 1440 should be okay.
Yeah, it'd be minimal.
I mean, well, that was one thing I was going to bring up, but we were doing the time thing on the 3090. Anno 1800 is hilarious. It don't give a fuck. At 1080p, at 1440, and at 4K, it still plays the same. Control was another one. if you turn on RTX, or sorry, you turn on ray tracing, then DLSS did give some benefits, but otherwise, Control was running at pretty much the same across the board. And this was on a 9900K, the review that I saw, but it was kind of interesting because there are obviously points where people don't have to scream and yell at us about running things at 1080p to test CPUs, because there are some games that, even at 4K, it's the CPU that's dragging behind. And it's going to be interesting to learn which ones those are.
Yeah.
Like, those were just the two examples that were glaringly obvious to me as I was, waiting for somebody to respond to emergencies and be able to get up a post today.
Yeah, the post 3800X with 3070 in YouTube, it just makes me think, the correct recommendation is get the exact corresponding Ryzen processor to go with your NVIDIA graphics card. If you're getting by a 3080, get a 3800X. If you're going to get a 3070, whenever it comes out, that's in October, I guess, then get a 3700X. And when the 3060, you know what I'm saying. Like, 3600 will go great with a 3060 later on. It is that convenient. It can be if you let it be. Really, I wish that
I hadn't realized this, but that is absolutely hilarious. And yes,
because NVIDIA and AMD, they go hand
sync.
in hand. They love each other. These are two companies that absolutely love each other.
That's why Lisa Sue visits Brent's kitchen all the time.
Icarus 72 wonders if the 3070 launch is going to be borked like the 3090. You have no idea. Think about this. We had a $700 card selling out with bots and everybody trying to buy it all at once. $700. Then the same thing happened with the $1,500 card, although I'm sure there were fewer of them to sell. When the $499 card comes out, that is the equivalent, they say, of the 2080 Ti in performance, the $1,200 card from last year. That's going to be insane. That's going to be the worst of all, because that's the one that is actually slightly more affordable. I could justify a $500 graphics card. I could not justify spending probably any more than that, but...
Do you think, just to make sure that there's some available, they might down bin some 3080s and 3090s that we might be able to mod?
I mean, they do that already.
I would assume that the 3070 would be just a cut down.
I might hold out and just start flashing BIOSes.
I'm definitely going to wait. I'm going to wait for the after the 28th.
No, I gotta wait to see what AMD is coming out with. I mean, AMD
will save us.
Look who just woke up.
I know, I see him.
I'm not gonna say on the record that there's no way AMD can match what NVIDIA is doing, because I don't know. There are some interesting things coming out from the rumors that it's possible. It's not impossible. Unlikely? Yeah. But not inconceivable. Especially if we're looking at dollars to performance, where, it's within 80% of a 3080. But it's 60% of the price.
I think it's going to be closer than 80.
I'm fingers crossed, especially to see AMD, come back.
40 CU 5700 XT, double it plus some. Where are you?
Okay, I understand why you're hunting a mouse, but that's the mouse cord under the desk. Could you stop doing that?
What is AMD's official claim on performance improvement with RDNA 2?
We do not comment on unreleased products.
That's like, I think it was performance per watt they were saying was going to be up.
However, they're talking
that's wishy-washy talk for we don't comment.
Yeah. The best I've been able to glean is about 2080 Ti.
Is what the 80 CU is going to be able to do?
And because they refuse to talk about anything, we don't even know which card they're talking about when they're saying that.
See, if they were targeting 2080 Ti...
That doesn't seem enough.
No, because that wouldn't even be, like, they'd be 3070 level. There's no way.
Yeah.
I'm worried. I will say, look at the leaked specs so far. tell me I'm wrong, but GDDR6,
I will
256
find a
bit,
high voltage mouse cord to let you.
it's got to
chew
be a
on.
very high speed GR6 for that to not bottleneck the GPU. Maybe it is. Maybe it's super high speed. The fastest we've seen so far is what, 15.5? Like stock for GDDR6 gigabit per second data rate.
Yes, there's a.
That was the 2080 Super, was 15.5 gigabits per second.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the 5700 XT is. It'll be interesting to see. That's sad. Like there's no way unless they price it accordingly. If they really only reach the performance level of a 3070 this generation, which I'm sure there are people who say absolutely not. It really depends on what the clocks are too, because I think they're still trying to figure that out. Like how far can they push it? At what voltage? What clocks can they hit? If it's at 2.1 gigahertz, that could change things. But at that point, how much memory?
If they're not happy with it, they could release an update after the cards have already shipped to people.
That's true.
What, AMD? No, they'd never do something like that.
You know,
they would never keep on changing the microcode through AGESA updates for 2 years.
It might,
product.
As inconceivable as that sounds, it might happen.
Yeah, anyone talking about removal software, you've got to get DDU. Display driver uninstaller is a godsend.
That was
it's even better than the old AMD driver remover.
That was your pick of the week last week, Sebastian.
It was. I know. I saw you added that. I approve.
Yep.
Even card to card with the same vendor, sometimes you have to go DDU. Or else
well, they've gotten friggin' cocky, haven't they? You'd even do the clean install when it doesn't ask for a reboot.
No, I noticed that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a little suspicious of that. I would do the reboot anyway, but I'll do a clean install under advanced install with NVIDIA, and it's like, that's not clean.
From a library perspective, it's called terminate, stay resident.
Yes. That's
TSR.
The old TSR stuff.
Yes.
Oh,
why is this still here?
I love it when people have never had a problem. Look, okay, Andre, if you never had a problem, that is brilliant. You're lucky.
You're not trying hard enough.
If you go from one AMD card to another, if you skip generations sometimes, it's not, some of it is related to doing pre-release products on press drivers, some of it is not, but there are times when you've just got it, like fan speed being misreported, weird issues, like just DDU, then install clean. But who knows?
There's some guys over here quoting Linux init run levels. Yeah, that's going to work.
What's happening?
Crossfire. Yeah, SLI is dead.
Unfortunately.
Hey, you know what? Think about it for a second, though. There's so much bandwidth kind of almost left over on PCIe 4.0. Seriously, think about it.
Yes,
you know
Alan. Sorry. Alan said he's looking. He's like, didn't realize. I just realized this was going. Did somebody say Maltavino 3 times?
Yes,
I said it at least twice.
Yes, we did. Doesn't that conjure him or something?
Well, besides, you know his new name.
You just had to say it a few times, and he like appears in the Discord. I think that's how it works. Anyway, yeah, I mean, is SLI really dead when you can consider that they've essentially said, we're going to turn it over to the individual developers, the game developers, to decide on whether or not they're going to support, I don't want to say Crossfire-like, but multi-GPU?
Alan felt a disturbance.
Lucid Logics, the fabless semiconductor company.
Yeah, he felt a disturbance in the NAND. That was during the Samsung discussion. That was topic number 2. It was like an hour ago. His radar is really off.
Oh, he's running on the SLC cache right now.
Oh, okay. He didn't flush his cache.
Yeah, it took a while to get.
Yep. He was working on old data.
And this is the other fun GPU question I have.
SandForce disturbs itself.
Yes.
Hey, SandForce ruled the world for a couple of years.
You stop picking on SandForce. They make good controllers.
Hey, they were the reason he made that damn decoder ring. So, does anyone notice how big a financial hit the NVIDIA took when they released, the brand new GPUs and then immediately replaced them with the brand new super GPUs? You notice how that was a horrible financial decision on their part, and they just didn't sell anything anymore because people were betrayed.
I don't know. Just because there's still stock of the non-super
Hey.
GPUs out there.
Well, there certainly are. So I don't necessarily trust Jensen that, this initial launch is going to sell out completely and he's just going to laugh and turn around and do the equivalent of the Super.
Oh, hi.
Oh, look at this guy!
Look at
He
this.
did
And
it
even
again.
look, he's in the right corner too. I don't have to do anything. This is great.
Oh my god!
Ryan's not working you hard enough, man.
I'm in the right corner. What happened?
Well,
What-
because
you
there's
gotta
a
look at the
whole
live
thing going on right now where I put my Camlink 4K feed over my other feed because it looks like crap.
oh,
It's a complicated. Don't worry about
And
it.
we're never going
Look
to pay
how-
enough
look
to
how
afford the
pale.
Plaid
What the
Edition
hell?
Tesla, sorry.
how's
You
my
do look
webcam
pale,
doing?
Alan. Put the red light on your monitor.
I didn't know he was gonna
Uh,
he was gonna join. So now
Logitech.
I've got to open another beer now. Oh my
I
god!
gotta do the Logitech camera. Where the hell is it? Control the camera, the thingy, and the.
See the 920. It resets itself all the time.
How long
Would
are we
you
gonna be?
kindly stop eating the electrical cords?
How long are we gonna be here?
I might.
Brett, don't
I'm-
worry about it. Just go to bed if you need to.
No,
I
I just
don't
opened
even have the webcam software installed.
another beer. I'm gonna be here a while.
Settings, video, settings.
In Discord, Stickin82 says Alan is more pale than Ken.
Ooh.
That's a burn.
Not really this pale.
Uh-huh.
Are you really that submarine or slender though?
I'm not
You
that
are.
much slender after all Amy's cheesecakes all these years.
But Alan putting on weight is like saying, what is it? You're from
It's
like
like-
120
it's like
to
I have a-
145.
It's like I have a goiter, but it just happens to be down above the belt line.
Oh, haven't used that excuse yet.
Yep. First casual use of the word goiter on the podcast.
Yeah, I might not have ever had a reason to bring that up anytime over the past 10 years.
Alan, do you think there's any validity to my completely spurious claim that the next Evo drive could use QLC and some sort of huge SLC cache?
I have zero actual data on that, but I mean,
Just speculate.
wait.
Where do you
what
go
about the
from
cache
here?
part?
If Pro is TLC plus SLC, what is Evo? Just
Well,
lose
mean,
some of the Pro features?
no, well, it could. I mean, I don't honestly, really, I don't freaking know. I was surprised that they even put a Pro label on a TLC drive in the first place.
It's because it's so fast. And
Well,
up to-
yeah,
up to
don't
a
get me
point.
wrong. It's
Up
it's
to a
pretty
point.
quick. Well, yeah. I mean, it's still going to have. You're still going to be able to like run out of cache because that's how those drives work. If you hit them hard enough, but you got to hit it pretty hard to do
Look, stop transferring so much data. That's not what it's for.
that. Well, yeah.
At once.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they could do SLC cache on top of QLC.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
That's what the 660p is.
I have a 660p.
That's all that drive is. It's SLC
I'll give it a
cache
try.
on top of QLC instead of TLC. So, it's. I mean, QLC is slower. So when you do run out of cache, then you're going slower than you would with a TLC drive.
Seriously, RS.
Is that the same on the 512 and the 1 terabyte?
What do you mean?
Did they do the same approach?
Yeah, it's the same
Okay.
thing. You just have more cache.
Okay.
And if it's a 660p, it can take almost all of its QLC and make it SLC. As long as the drive is not so full that it can't do that. So like you can put you can have like 100 gig on the thing. You're only using 1/10 of the drive if it's a terabyte. But if you had like only 100 gig on it, chances are it's all sitting in SLC.
I
And
never noticed a slowdown at all with it, and I used it extensively as an OS drive for a while, and it was great.
You've
Honestly.
got to have them pretty full and also hit them pretty hard with writes for you to like
Mhm.
notice. So that's why
Yeah.
they're really good as like game drives, especially, right?
Mhm.
Like, you need something, you just need bulk storage. There was a lot of times where those things were on sale for like, wasn't that the first one to hit 10 cents a gig or something like that? I thought on a sale, like,
It was
Ryan
really
was like
close. It
happy.
might have been.
yeah,
That's probably why I bought one, honestly, because it was that magic number.
yeah,
or
and
really
then,
close.
I mean,
Trout's
don't
Law.
get me wrong, like it's not like a fire-breathing SSD, but I mean, it's good at what it does, right? It's like it's adequate. It's not going to be at the top of performance charts or anything, but it's a good drive. And then I say they, but we, like, there's an OEM. I think it's OEM only, but it's
No,
there's a
I think it was still they at that time.
well, it was at that time, but there is now a 665p, which I think Legit Reviews did a review of, and maybe one other site did a review of. But they had to find it like on a reseller or something, or it was in a laptop or something to get their hands on it. But
Interesting.
it's like an updated version of the 660p, but it just has like faster NAND on it. But it's basically the same drive. It's
When are
just
you
like
going to get us? When are you going to get us one?
Yeah, I don't even have one,
Oh.
and I work there.
665 XT.
No, P.
P.
I know.
665p. Yeah.
Oh, you put an XT on stuff when it was faster.
No, it was just like it was only meant to be like a refresh.
Oh, like and
Okay.
laptop OEM only kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't meant to be a retail part. I mean, they could have made it that. It's just those drives make it to the market anyway. Like the 660, you find it everywhere anyway because it's like there's not really anything different if you put it in the OEM system or buy a retail. So
Yeah, I got some of I think some Samsungs that way out of laptop takeoffs for less money at the time.
yeah, like TM or SM.
Yes,
ones.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah, the only catch with those is depending on what the OEM was, sometimes they limit the write speeds compared to the retail version of the same drive.
Yeah.
Because the laptop, like the vendor asks them or the OEM asks them, hey, we want the power consumption to not go beyond this amount no matter what. And so, Samsung has to like turn a dial in the firmware and make it so that the write speeds are limited a little more. Again, it's not like, instead of going 2 gig per second, it might do 1 or something. Like it's not, it's not like a
I did some
tragedy.
black magic tests on them, and they seem pretty symmetric. So yeah, it didn't seem like it was gimped in any way at the time.
Yeah, and so you might have gotten one from like, these specifics don't like, hypothetically, like, you might have like Lenovo might say limit speed, like HP might not say the limit speed.
Right.
So like if you pulled them out of one, it might be the same thing as the retail one, and you pulled it out of the other model and it wouldn't be. So
Oh, I
it's like
got them from an eBayer that was pulling them out of tray with 0 writes.
oh wow. So those were most likely the non-customized ones then.
Yeah, they had 0 time on them. They were brand new.
Yeah. Yeah, I bought a batch of those for my basement, for my crazy basement server. I bought a batch of those.
Which crazy basement server?
The crazy basement server,
V?
my basement.
Oh, I know yes, but you've gone through like 2 versions of it or 3 versions.
Well, no,
of it.
this was a while back. I got tired of like a mishmash of different SSDs in there, trying to make an array out of them because no 2 SSDs were the same. So it's like it was always this hodgepodge of stuff, and I was trying to move over to ZFS, and ZFS doesn't exactly like randomly sized, randomly performing SSDs, right? So I found there was a resale, like I don't know where they even got the stock, but it was less than 10 cents a gig for 2 terabyte Samsung like 16 something drive, like the dual channel SAS, the multi-channel SAS drives that Samsung made. The ones that like would go all the way up to the crazy capacity of like 16 terabytes or 32 terabytes. Whenever you saw Samsung like at CESs, they would say, "Oh, we got this amazing high capacity drive." It was always like the SAS drive of 2.5 inch.
Where
And-
can I buy it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
or,
could buy it.
Ask
So
your
I
vendor.
found- Yeah, so the reseller was selling like just a crap load of, at like 7 or 8 cents a gig, they were selling 2 terabyte models of those, and I was like, damn, and I ordered some and got them, and most of them had like less than a week worth of runtime on them. So, I mean, they're gonna last me for forever anyway, but I'm basically starting with them in a new state, so
By the way,
I think they'll last a while.
A Gizmo linked us. Newegg has a 665p in stock and shipping for 11 cents a gig.
Very close to that magic
Yeah.
number.
But it's also hilarious that they're doing cents per gig right on the.
Oh, they
listing.
actually say it?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Ryan's
It's like-
Law.
This one says 114.99 or 11 cents per gigabyte.
That
You
might
know,
be,
I don't think I've seen that before. The
This is great.
cents per gig.
Yeah.
Let me click
that
through
might
to
be
that.
our fault.
Yeah, the A Gizmo link in the PC Republic, that'll take you to that page and you can see the price per gig.
Yeah,
right
I
on the-
can see it.
What the heck?
Oh, shite. It's only 169 up here. That's tempting.
They're
Wait.
not bad drives.
At 2 terabytes, still a little bit more than 2x.
Yeah. No, 350 up here.
234.99 US.
That's a bit much.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get 2 of the 1 terabytes and run them in RAID 0, you know?
So those drives, I'm pretty
You
sure
stop
they don't.
with your RAID 0 on your B550 board. Good luck with that.
I'm pretty sure those drives don't do the round off thing with the capacities. Like I think it's actually
No.
like 2048 instead of 2000 gigabytes for a 2 terabyte on that model.
Nice.
Not gerbil bytes.
Did you say gerbils?
Gerbil bytes.
Sure.
The GI BBS.
Oh, the GIBs. Yeah.
Yes.
gerbil bytes.
Gibby byte.
That's Gibbies. I thought, only people who were measuring bandwidth did that,
Oh,
no. If you
I
wanna
can't
be
bring myself to say it the other
absolutely
way.
not
Correct.
size.
The Gibby byte isn't so bad. Mebby byte?
Mebbies.
That's
Yes, the
I can't do
Mebbies
that.
were maybes.
Yeah.
Mebs.
Doesn't
Oh, North
roll
Roger,
off the
don't
tongue.
remind me of that. Yeah, I may have to sign off soon. These kittens are getting a little aggressive in there.
You should see
Being
what they're
annoyed.
doing behind you when you can't see.
Yeah,
Well, he can't see what he can't see, Brett.
Hmm.
Doesn't make any sense.
no,
Forget
I
about
can hear them, so
You
I
should
look.
see what you can't see.
Exactly.
I guess there are
But-
cameras. You could set up a cell phone and just.
What I
record.
said doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Forget it. Forget it.
All right. Good night, Jeremy.
Yeah, these can't abuse them when they're young. You gotta raise them right, then abuse them.
Oh,
Jeremy's leaving.
Yeah,
doesn't
Sneeze
love
ya.
us. Doesn't love us anymore.
No,
Well, and I'm worried about the spatula showing up here. That's just not going to be good.
I just moved it again.
why are you? How? I don't. Never mind. I don't know how you're doing it.
He's on
I
a
don't
Mac.
know.
You can do all sorts of stuff on a Mac that you
What
can't do on.
happened? Oh, I know what happened. Hold on. I'm covering Alan's video now. No, I'm not. Where's Alan's video?
No, there's 2 of you.
Now there's 2 of you. What did you do?
I don't
Oh
know.
Oh my God.
There's
I can
no-
see Alan. I can see him,
There's no Alan.
but
I
not
see
on
you
the live
guys.
stream.
This is strange. Hold on.
DDR3L registered RAM.
Hmm.
I have to stop the recording here.
DDR3L register.
And registered. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what the heck is going on here.
What happened there?
I don't know.
I don't know. Let's pull out the RAM I have sitting right here.
Let's look at the size of the pads on those. That'll say whether it's DDR4 or DDR3.
Well, this is we're going way back,
Yeah.
but this is probably
I'm gonna go downstairs and get some
that's probably
Mac.
DDR3.
I'm gonna go downstairs and get some Mac 2 CI cache DIMMs.
This might be registered because I see a little No, I don't think those are buffers.
What happened to
Bottom.
gray
don't know.
guy over here?
I don't
Nope.
know- I don't know if that's
yeah,
enough
he's over
focus.
this way, right down here. Where did
Nobody
he
on the
go?
stream can see that anyway, so I don't know.
No,
why I'm-
as just mentioned in the chat, something's gone horribly wrong here because
This
I
guy.
have two videos of myself from different angles and a gray box where Alan's supposed to be.
That is correct. He is a gray box.
Hey, Alan, can you quick sign off and sign back in?
Sure.
All right.
Okay, now we can talk about him while he's not.
Yeah,
here.
now we have the weird double me thing. Where's Alan? There's Alan. Okay, he's back.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's
yeah.
weird that it just made me disappear.
Yeah, you're back.
I don't know.
What do you got there?
I don't know. Is it gonna
I don't
focus?
know. It's Samsung memory. Is that
Oh,
that
it's
famous?
PC. It's PC3
Is that the
by 8.
super overclockable stuff?
Is
back in the
are
day?
all the chips on one side? Oh,
No.
oh, those are cheap chips.
Hey,
Low density.
low
I don't
density's good.
This RAM was in a box I found the other day. I don't even. It was in a box. It was in a box with an iOmega
Oh,
external hard disk,
that FireWire.
and no, it's USB.
Oh,
Ugh.
Wait. I think it. Yeah, it's USB. I mean, it could very well have been FireWire because there was a box of Amy's stuff. I don't know.
I don't have any fun stuff at hand because there's
DRAM,
nothing
huh?
behind me anymore.
I only brought this one up, and I threatened to bring this one on last time. And this is a remember this?
Yeah.
I talked
It
about this.
disappeared. It just disappeared.
What disappeared?
The
Oh,
thing that
oh my
Brett's
God.
holding.
Oh my
You
god!
can
it's
always see
gone.
his kitchen. There we go. Is that
Oh.
a speech thing?
It's a modem. It's a U.S.
Oh,
robotics. It's a U.S. robotics modem. It's actually written 33.6 on this, but I actually flashed it to a 56K modem. So this is a really fast modem right here.
Overclocked
These-
modems.
This back here, this is called a parallel.
Focusing. Focus, Daniel.
Or- Yeah, this is like a parallel serial big
Focus.
port, 25 pin or serial port. This is a 25 pin serial port, but parallel ports used to come in 25 pin as well.
I don't even know what this is.
This is crazy time here.
What on earth
It's
is that?
insanity.
Is that even a regular RAM slot?
Yeah, it's 168 pin SD-RAM packaging.
Focus.
Two.
Camera,
It's got
focus.
it's got two.
Focus.
It's in focus now.
Okay.
Two alignment.
I know.
nibs.
Is that
What's up with that?
registered like server memory or something?
sure what
or-
that is.
Registered Some old ass
No.
something. I don't know.
No, that's special. They usually don't have two alignment nibs.
I don't know. I pulled that off the shelf behind me, so it's been there for God knows how long.
Yeah, you should put it back.
You're gonna need it someday.
I will. I will. Well, you know, I was looking for crazy old memory. Oh wait, there's some in the bag. Some in the ESD bag. Let's open the ESD bag.
Alan, what are
Crazy.
you working on at work?
What do you mean?
Tell us all. What are you
ancient
working
Chinese, Ancient Chinese secret.
on? No.
Yeah, he
tell us-
can't
Oh
tell us.
Jesus! What the?
You can tell us more than that.
What the hell is this?
Whoa,
That's
is
server
awesome.
RAM. That's from a Sun. I've used that in HP's and Sun Microsystems Ultra Sparks.
Those
Okay, I
are
must have got
awesome
it from my dad's place.
Sims. That's like Mega Sim.
No,
That's
that's
freaking awesome.
that's normal stuff for
What?
all Ultra Spark stuff.
But it looks so cool. Let's see how much. This is probably like 256 megabytes or something.
You guys were not working in the server space in the 2000s.
Well, no, I mean not to the point of changing out DRAM and
All
stuff.
my stuff is out of reach. Alan's going off camera.
Hmm.
All your Sebastian, all your stuff has been put away.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yep.
I know there's a box like on the other side of the room that has a bunch of Sims in it, but who cares?
Are you going to rebuild your corner there around the water pipe?
I don't know. I don't know.
What are you going to do there?
I have no idea.
Yep.
Perfect timing because I was getting ready to start, doing videos. Like, oh, well, now I have to either rethink a set, embrace the pipe, move the pipe,
You know, we're going to do something interesting. We're going to actually do some tandem reviews. I don't think
Yes.
anybody else is really doing this
Probably for good reason, but yes.
you know what? Let's not talk about what the good reasons are for or against such a thing. But a lot of people are doing talking head tabletop style reviews. We're going to do some tandem reviews. Oh my gosh, it's the Sun Monitor remote.
Here, let me move the camera so you can embrace the pipe lifestyle here. There we go.
I'm sort of jealous.
The
You
copper
jealous that I have
pipe.
a Sun monitor remote? Somewhere I have a Sun optical mouse, the one that actually had the mouse pad with the grid on it.
Oh, for God's sakes, I've got like 4 of those.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
The pipe lifestyle.
I'm going to go downstairs and get some of my optical grid mouse pads.
Yeah. The aluminum ones, right?
I
The
have
little
those. Of
aluminum-
course
yeah.
I have those. Are you kidding?
You know
Of
what's
course.
funny? You know what's funny? I had one. I was so proud that I had one, and I think I lost it somewhere. I used to have the mouse and the mouse pad,
I've probably got a spare.
and it's gone. It's gone for forever.
Did you ever pick up those mice when they were plugged in though? Those and look at the
What's funny is
the
that
LED?
mouse. That mouse you could if you had the mouse on an angle, if it wasn't perfectly up and down, if you had it on an angle and you were moving it up, down, left, and right, it would still go up, down, left, and right on the
Of course
screen.
it would. It's
was so-
following the grid. But
it
if you
was
ever
so
looked at
weird.
the laser on the bottom of it, you went blind.
Hey, do you
It was-
remember the?
it was a freaking laser.
Yeah, it was a freaking laser. Do you
Oh
remember
my
the?
gosh. That's a Type 6. I'm pretty sure
Oh,
it's a
hell
Type
yeah.
6.
You remember the Ultimate Gaming Machine system that Colleen put together way, way many years ago
Really?
for Twit? You remember that? They used to do like the Ultimate, like the, it was like Tech TV
Oh,
Ultimate
yeah.
Gaming System, and then
I
like
remember
Leo
that.
did one for Twit,
Oh, yeah.
like way back in the day.
I don't remember the ultimate ones, but
And they made one with SLI water cooled GTX 280s.
I'm sure they did, but I don't. Oh, look at that.
This is from that system. Colleen gave it to me.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Colleen gave me one of the water blocks, and she gave Patrick Norton one of the water blocks
that's nice.
from it. Never going to use it on anything, but this was back when they were really machining some water blocks,
Oh yeah, and they had all the offsets very dialed in.
and it's all copper. It's the whole freaking. It's just
Screen.
Do you know how much that's worth to the Chinese now?
it's a freaking big honking piece of copper.
Look, the Chinese are looking for copper, so you can probably
Oh,
dial
great.
them up.
Lovely. What else do I got? I don't know. I don't know if there's anything, any other knickknacks that are interesting back here.
Something's gone wrong again.
What?
I don't know. Just the
Am I
Skype
gone
isn't
again?
full screen anymore. I wonder if I can just do F11 on that.
We're gonna have to get
Huh?
you VMix.
Ooh, there we go.
What did you
That
do?
fixed it. F11.
Do it again.
Oh, it
Everything-
wasn't full screen?
No, it
Everything
wasn't
hopped-
full screen. So you can see
Everything hopped
the
around.
the buttons on the bottom and stuff. Anyway, it's fixed now. But
All
yeah,
right,
we need vMix because this doesn't even fill the whole freaking screen.
What are you guys even using for your capture right now?
Let's not talk about it.
It's simple.
Was it that bad?
It's simple. Here's what I'm using for capture. I'm using an HDMI capture card for capture. That's
Oh,
what I'm
really?
using.
Oh,
it's-
that's cool.
I have two PCs. They're
I'm
both
bringing the spatula closer.
one PC is hosting a Skype call with everybody calling into it. The other PC is taking that feed in through an HDMI card. That's it.
Cool.
But yeah, that was the only way I could actually, without using a bunch of extra software and or hardware, get everybody on a Skype call hearing each other and being able to record it all and stream it. Oh
What do
no!
you got there?
An add-in USB
Oh,
2.0 card.
Oh yeah, this is a B Wi-Fi B, isn't it?
PCMCIA, baby. Huh? No.
PCMCIA
No, it's just USB.
Wi-Fi B.
It's just USB.
Oh, it's a USB.
2.0.
No, it's only
Oh,
USB.
okay.
It just adds two USB 2.0 ports. To
I
your-
have
ancient
one of
laptop.
those that
I
does
can go
that does
100 megabit,
Wi-Fi.
baby.
that does Wi-Fi B. Oh,
I could do 100 megabit.
that's pretty advanced.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have one thing here. That would come in handy for this. This is my
Oh, see.
compact Presario
Yeah.
that only has, what is this one? It's a 1200 series, I think. This is a 1270. I turn it on, but the battery doesn't work. It does work when plugged in, but it has just the one.
Oh, it's got the 20
USB
millimeter
port.
fan.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? It needs it because this is a desktop K62 processor in this thing.
Uh-huh.
Compaq decided it was a good idea to put a 350 megahertz K62 in a laptop. But it makes for an interesting Windows 98 gaming machine. Has a acceptable sound card in it. And crucially, you have a floppy drive here
Mm-hmm.
and a CD-ROM drive. You don't have to switch between the two. You've got them both. It's chunky enough. You've got all the I/O you need.
I'm not sure if I showed this on a stream or not. Did I show this on the stream?
I don't know what that is.
Oh! I still got to put it like on the shelf.
What do you got there?
What
What the hell is that card edge? Deck.
Focus.
It's a deck.
It's in focus now, but I don't know what I'm seeing.
Stack 32K stack board. The hell is
Uh-huh.
this?
Hold on. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh.
What is
Magnetic memory.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
wow.
You can see the bits. You can see them.
You can see them.
They're right there.
How much memory is that in total, do you think?
It's
32
2K.
It's
2K.
32K. 32K times 19 bits. So it works out to like what, 60, about 100K ish.
It's the size of a
kilobytes.
manila folder, basically? Or is it bigger than
Yeah,
that?
it's like you
Oh,
can
it's
put it-
bigger. Okay, I didn't notice. Yeah.
It's yeah.
I mean,
it's-
Alan is not a very big person, but still.
No, he's rather diminutive.
So this
Yeah.
needs to go next to like the drive platter and the wafer. One day, damn it, I'm gonna get a Crosspoint wafer to go next to it. One day.
I guess you just need to ask the right person.
I've been looking.
It's been asking around.
I've been asking around. They're like, hey, thanks for helping us out. Do you want an award? Actually,
What I want is
I want is a Crosspoint wafer.
That's all I want.
oh, what is this picture?
Oh, that's an adapter to.
That's
Oh, wow. That. Wait a minute.
yeah,
We're talking about like the
It's
Discord
going.
here?
It's going to
it's
PCMCIA.
express card. It's an express
Yeah.
card.
Express
that-
card to PCMCIA, right?
It is.
And then you got.
And
Now all
he's
you
got an
need is a-
Orinoco on it.
now-
He's
now
got
all
an
you need
Orinoco
is a-
Wi-Fi card on it.
Yeah. Now you just need a PCMCIA card that was an adapter that was meant to go to something else.
Stop with that. You're
That you
just
can-
you're.
Oh, come on. You got to
Yeah.
make it turtles all the way down, man. Come on.
Yeah, logically it should work. Yeah, we should convert that to
Hold on. I might.
Hey, question from Jordan. Does anybody else have a day bed? Because I know Jordan recently purchased and put together a day bed from Wayfair.
and not just any day bed. I think it's the day bed to end all day beds.
I want to see a picture of the supposed day bed. 'Cause there's been a lot of day bed talk,
I mean, he
not
has
a lot of
posted-
day bed photos.
What are
There's
we talking
been
about? Why are we
a
talking about
couple of
There's
pictures.
a regular in our community. His name is Jordan. He's he's in our Discord public channel all the time, answering people's questions about day beds and providing people updates.
I believe he's also Jeremy Gelstrom.
Oh,
I
is
do
he?
not- I do not recall seeing discussions of day beds, but okay.
If
He tries to bring it
if there
around
was
day beds.
a real photo of it, the problem is I don't think that he's got his sheets yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not really presentable yet.
So,
Yeah.
So, and we go to M.2 adapter, but the M.2 adapter is on a card, so I can plug it in.
Oh my God. You take that external.
Just trying to plug a thing into a thing.
It blew me away when I saw that there were M.2 drives with external power coming off of them. I think I saw
Wait.
that in a level 1 text video. Like, why?
It's
That's the U.2 adapter thing, right?
It's got to be really thirsty if it's
No, because it's really just what did you just show? You showed like U.2 adapted to M.2, right?
Oh, that thing has its own. It uses SATA power. That the
Okay.
U.2 to M.2 adapter has a SATA power connector for it. Yeah, because it needs 12 volts.
So
M.2 doesn't provide 12 volts.
This is.
I'm not sure
is
this
not
is a
good.
daybed. I don't know what
What's
this
happening
is.
with this picture. This is not
That's
good.
a weirdly large square for the middle cushion there. Maybe
It's,
that is just a bed.
I mean, picture like a bed that's equal to the size of a small pool inside your house that you can dive into.
Yeah, imagine if that was a water bed.
Yeah.
To me, day beds are like uncomfortable couches that are also uncomfortable beds.
This is like beyond daybed.
Yeah.
And it's crowded uncomfortably close to the television.
Yeah, it is kind of on top of that TV.
Yeah.
Ooh, 800 meg,
So
2.5 inch flash drive.
He says that's the point to the daybed. It's uncomfortably close to the television. Really, the only thing it lacks is refrigeration close at hand.
You know, getting too close to the TV than recommended gives you that big screen experience. I have a movie theater like experience with a 65-inch TV because I'm so damn close to it.
You know, you can almost get that 8K experience without buying the 8K TV.
You get the 8K experience with a 2560 by 1440 monitor, apparently.
Yeah,
as long as you're 18 inches away.
What's going on with all this 8K?
Okay.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
The 8K stuff that NVIDIA was showing and covering, and the outlets who were doing 8K, it was required, apparently a requirement to do DLSS at 8K, but it was DLSS Ultra Performance, a hitherto unknown preset that actually does a 9x upscale
from 1440.
Yeah.
So it was just doing 1440 upscale to 8K.
So first I watched the Linus video on it, and I saw that he did that and made it a point to enable DLSS. And then I saw the MKBHD video on it, and I'm pretty sure he didn't.
Really?
Because when he went to...
What games were they running? Were they running the same ones?
They did some driving games, and then they did Control.
Doom.
And they did
Control.
Doom.
Yep.
And so Control was the one where they had to turn it back to 1440p and turn on the DLSS and stuff.
If you went off script, you weren't getting the performance that they were even showing.
Well, yeah, like Linus got, like it was running at like 55, 60 in Control.
Yeah.
And looked, like you could tell that it looked like the limit was not necessarily the upscaling, but that the base textures, just, like you go to read something and it was like, well, clearly that texture, like that would look better than that even at 1440p. And it was still, so it wasn't necessarily
that was the game developers not putting in 8K textures. I don't mean literally 8K, but I mean more
right. Something high enough to where,
Yes.
Yeah. But then I'm pretty sure MKBHD, like he went down to 1440p, but he didn't turn on DLSS, I don't think. Well, maybe he did. I don't know.
He did some non-DLSS gaming in Doom Eternal, I believe.
Oh, well, that I don't think you really needed it.
No,
right?
That actually worked pretty well.
Yeah.
But the original video was it was a sponsored video. It was sponsored by NVIDIA.
Yeah, they were all, and Hardware Canucks, I think, was supposed to do one also, but I don't know. The MKBHD one, even though I saw it after the Linus one, the MKBHD looked like he was supposed to get the exclusive, because he referenced that when Linus's and Hardware Canucks videos goes up later, But I'm pretty sure Linus's video was actually up first. So Linus probably just said, F you. And he just he just sent it anyway.
Oh, heck yeah.
And, and then Harvard Canucks, I didn't go back and look. Ooh, Samsung. Old Samsung phone.
Yeah. I don't understand why anybody would buy an 8K TV at this point unless you live in Japan and can actually get the signal or whatever other country has it. But
Well, I mean, with the upscaling, I'm sure it looks good.
I am a native guy. Like I want 4K native before
So,
I move on to
here's
anything else.
Here's what's funny. I haven't counted pixels or anything on it, but I have a kind of on the lower end but huge 82-inch Samsung from 2 years ago, right? And it's 4K TV, but I'm pretty damn sure there's more pixels there than 4K worth because it's 82 inches. You know what I mean? It's just the pixels still look pretty small when you walk up close to it, and it's I think there's more that I think it's actually doing something. Even if you send it 4K, I think it's still doing something.
But it's probably HDMI 1.4.
Oh yeah, no, it can't I think it can do 4K 60 just on one input, and that's it.
Yeah.
I had a 60-inch Samsung a few years ago. It was the top model in 2013. It was the F8000 series. And it was one of those things where it never looked like it was just native 1080. It looked like it was slightly above. I don't know what it really was. I didn't count pixels either, but I would have guessed somewhere 1200 maybe, not 1080.
Yeah, I think there's just a point where if the TV is large enough, just physically large enough, they're just not going to have enormous pixels.
They're probably doing some subpixel aliasing as a television because
Yes.
they generally do that, especially when the market is the TV environment versus monitor environment, simply because they very rarely have to render text.
And if you tried to look at text on the F8000, it was terrible.
Exactly.
Rainbows.
Exactly.
And it
Well, is
didn't
that
matter if you
because-
turned off edge enhancement, sharpening all the way down to 0. It didn't matter. It was the
Nope.
worst looking text. And
you
you go to an
You
older.
couldn't get away from it.
Was
My
it getting
old-
422?
I wouldn't do 444. That's for sure.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So because
I
422
have an
doesn't
old
dump-
LG Infinia TV from 2010 that's an IPS panel, and it has the best performance as a monitor of that generation that I ever saw. You could plug in HDMI or VGA. Actually, it has VGA on it, but HDMI 444 from a PC at 1080p, crisp text, no rainbow artifacts, no subpixel weirdness, just RGB stripe. Maybe it's the subpixel configuration on the Samsungs that's a little off. Maybe it's GBR or whatever the other. There's some alternates.
Well, there's a lot of different ways to do subpixel aliasing, especially when you have that many pixels to play with. Oh yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of call for that nowadays.
Hey, that's a pretty big one. 128 megs for smart media.
Yeah, it's got just a little bit more memory than than this.
But we're talking megs now, not K.
Yeah, I know.
Just a little bit more, just 1,000 times more.
I just do not have enough old computer components close at hand.
I have far too many, and I'm glad I can't just grab them because it's embarrassing. You start going through all these different green boards and just, why do you have 30 old graphics cards? Because I like them.
Yeah. Do you ever use them?
I did some builds. I have the 486 build and a Pentium build and a 386 build.
There you go. We were
More of
talking
an
about
old-
Avera Media and Hauppauge
Oh yeah,
video cards for the home-built DVRs of the day.
I had a Hauppauge.
I got a couple of those downstairs somewhere.
Those were.
Did you have
not
the little remote and the terrible little IR receiver for it?
I think I did. Like the wired, you had to bring it around front.
Yes.
Yes.
I had the internal and the external Hauppauge at one point.
You had the external Hauppauge?
Yeah, they
I
made
don't
an
e-
external one. It had like
Yeah.
this huge honking cable, the dongle kind of thing.
I don't
You
think
still had
I've
you still had to have a card, but it was like a breakout.
Is that like a 60 pin SCSI type of look
It was
to
I
it?
don't it was thick. It
Yeah, that. Yeah,
was one of those cables,
yeah.
like the original dual link DVI cables. It was like one of those.
Someone's accusing us of actually pronouncing Apog.
I have never tried to pronounce it.
I
Hapaj,
don't-
Hapau.
As far as I know, it's pronounced like
Hodgepodge.
the
Hodgepodge,
city
yes.
or the area in outside of New York City.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I grew up there. I probably should know how to pronounce it, but I
You
don't think
should.
I don't think anybody around me ever said the name of that area when I lived there. Hey, I had one of those.
What of
Yeah.
what?
What Mer PVC just put in the chat.
What is that? Oh, Win TV.
The
Win
Win
TV.
TV. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Wow.
You're really missing
Nope.
out if you're not in our Discord.
No better way to break the USB port on your system.
Yeah, I can't imagine
Yikes.
the electronics
Yeah.
between that.
It's just like one of
These
these.
things.
No better way to get good leverage on your USB stuff.
Yeah, well, that's an HDMI on the other end, at least. Did
You've
you
got to
see
use
what's in the
you gotta
picture
use
there?
the extension cable. I always use mine with that cable just to give it a little bit of flexibility.
Yeah, I've got this one.
Yeah, you've got
Yeah.
to, or else you're just gonna tear out. You're gonna tear out a USB port, or worse. You know, those Camlink 4Ks are worth more than most motherboards. So
I'm going downstairs to get my quick take.
This is the 1080p one. I bought this.
oh,
years
really? It's
ago.
not the 4K.
No, I bought this years
Hey,
ago.
it's more than good enough. I never use mine for 4K. It's just the only one I could find to buy.
Well, I wanted to, like the idea was have this and an adapter that goes to mini micro HDMI or whatever, and then I take the camera, plug it into the camera, stick the camera somewhere, and then I don't have to if we were traveling when we were doing reviews, like I wouldn't have to, or for the review site stuff, went to CES and I wanted to do some podcast video stuff, we wouldn't have to, bring another webcam because that was annoying.
Sony released software to turn a bunch of their cameras into webcams recently, but I think mine was not on the list. I have an A6000. It was like 63. Yeah, the 6300 was on the list. A bunch of the higher end ones were on the list. You can get
Wonder if
free
my camera's
Sony
on the list.
software to do it.
Sony webcam software. Ultimate Game.
Screensavers.
That might be even older than the one that I have that water block. Oh yes, that's definitely older than the one I have the water block for. This was like, yeah, it was like Ugum. There was like a background she made for it and everything. Like they've numbered them. It was like Ultimate Gaming Machine, number 2, number 3, and number 4, and like I forget which Ugum.
I was probably watching that one when it came out.
I have a picture of a screenshot of the 3D Mark score from the Ugum that this video card is from. Ugum.
That's Ultimate Gaming Machine for those playing at home.
Yes.
Ah.
Yes. Trying to find. It was Twit. Twit Live. For
Mr. AM says
1.5.
Colleen's Ugum was post-Twit or after Tech TV.
Ugum.
It was Twit post Tech
Was,
TV. Of course.
I'm sorry, Twit after Tech TV. Yeah.
Well, Twit was after Tech TV.
Yes.
So I have
yes.
I have a saved copy of the stream where Ryan was talking to Colleen.
Ryan.
Ryan was talking to Colleen. Ryan had the rusty metal background.
Oh yes, that piece of like corrugated metal.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Will this thing do sharing? Will Skype do sharing now?
I,
don't
I
know.
believe
Share your
I believe
screen.
you can pull it
I
up.
think you can.
Sharing. I see share.
Yeah.
Wait, that's not the right kind of share. I want
Uh-oh.
screen share.
I thought you could.
Where the
I'm
hell is
pretty
it?
sure you can.
I'm looking. I'm looking. Hold on. Share screen.
John
Oh.
Finnegan asks, "Who is Ryan?" He's the
Oh,
Let me get my stuff out of here.
is that working?
yes.
Yes, hold on. Let
Yes,
me.
it's coming
remove
through,
my
but
video.
someone is
Okay.
overlaying.
There we go.
it.
It's fixed.
All right. Yep, there you go. Play it.
Although I don't think this is the sound going to come
I
across.
don't know.
I don't know. Try
There's
it.
only one way to find out.
Do you hear it?
No.
I don't hear you guys anymore.
Hello.
Oh, I muted myself. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, did you hear
sorry.
that video?
No,
No, we did not
unfortunately,
hear the video.
no.
We saw it. That's a very young-looking Ryan. He looks
Hold on,
about
let me,
21 there.
Let me mute this. Yeah, he's very very young, and I don't know why it looks like he's on a potato cam.
It definitely looks like a potato
What
can.
the hell is that? He's talking. Oh, they painted all the stuff for. Oh, they painted the Drobo. There was a Drobo. I forgot there was a Drobo on
Wow.
the Drobo case with flames on it.
Oh my god.
What the?
Ryan looks like an Oblivion NPC. Yes.
You know,
That was
given the
Elder
era,
Scrolls version of
given the
Ryan.
era of that Drobo case.
Oh, look at that sick paint job on that. Oh yeah.
DigitalKitty.com.
Yeah, that's Colleen's thing. So this is like they were in the planning phase for it or something. They were like trying to plan out how they were gonna do it, and she was, oh, there's the background. I have that background somewhere.
The metal?
No, the background, the
The metal is still leaning up at the church, isn't it?
oh yeah, the metal is at the church. Oh yeah, she was playing. Oh, there you go. Specs for the Uggam.
Oh yeah.
QX?
Tri SLI,
Core 2.
DFG GTX 280s. There were 3 of them. Colleen has one, I have one, and Patrick Norton has one now.
Blu-ray burner and reader.
You gotta
Hey,
have
Velociraptors,
the two
man.
Velociraptors in Rado. Yes.
Got the Velociraptors. See if I can
Wow.
find this Uggam background. I don't know where it is.
My system at that time did not have anywhere near those specs, but I did have two 10,000.
The USB Drobo, that did like 20 megabytes per second.
I'm
with
gonna, leave you,
frickin' with flames on it.
I'm gonna leave you guys with my kitchen. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. We're still looking at Alan's screen right now, anyway.
Oh yeah. No. What's happening to Brett's microphone?
We can't see. You have to stop sharing your screen if we want to see Brett's kitchen.
Oh,
It overrides
okay.
the rest of us.
It fixed itself. It's not flickering anymore. Oh no, it came back. Okay, let me turn my screen sharing off. Did it stop? Should have stopped.
It's still flickering. His microphone is coming in
Yeah,
and
his
out
microphone
wildly.
is doing the light switch rave.
The only reason to get a Velociraptor, Mr. Mew, is to get 2 Velociraptors and run them in RAID 0.
Yes.
That's a combined 20,000 RPMs of speed.
That's because that's how that works.
Yes, it is. Come on. And then you
Only
have
if
to,
you-
like, I don't
Only if
remember
you
what
RAID
the whole...
zero them.
Okay, if you're going to RAID 0 them, what was the optimal stripe size? Was it 64?
No, it just depended on what you were doing. Depended on your workload that you were gonna do.
My workload was showing off how fast my drives were. What would I want to use?
I mean, back then it was probably like 64K or something.
I think it's what it always defaulted to.
The
Because of course I
catch-
was using software RAID.
The catch is that if you go too low on the did I turn the light off? If you go too low on the stripe size, then if your RAID controller was crappy, then the RAID controller had a hard time keeping up with the faster splitting of the smaller stripes. So if you went all the way down to 4K, you might actually lose sequential throughput if the RAID controller sucked. Like the drives could do it, but the RAID controller couldn't. So why is there a spatula floating
I don't know how he did that. I'm guessing he just like photoshopped it in or something. It was background image.
Hold on a second.
Apologies, I had to blow my nose. Anybody watching? That's what happened. I thought I muted myself, but maybe you heard it. I'm curious. Oh, Alan's gone, but I'm curious if
I hear you.
if your camera's on the list. What is your camera? Or Sony?
RX10 Mark IV.
RX10 Mark IV?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the list.
No shit.
DSC RX10 M4.
Do I have to do a firmware update?
No, it's just software. It's Windows 10 only. They were planning on releasing a Mac version in autumn of 2020.
Is it Imaging Edge webcam?
Yeah, I sent you I added you. It was a rev, like I did an @Alan in the Discord.
Yeah, I am in the list.
Yeah.
Wait, that's RX 100 Mark IV, RX 10.
Oh, just below it. RX 10 Mark IV.
RX 10 Mark IV. Okay, yeah, hold on, I'm downloading it.
You click the link, yeah.
Yeah. Is it just USB supposedly?
I believe
Really?
so. I read this was a big deal. This is when like the whole COVID thing started, and they were like, "Hey, actually no, this is late because they didn't release this until a month ago."
Hold on, I gotta find USB. Gotta find USB cable.
Yeah, just find your USB cable. It will convert it.
That's USB-C. Nope, don't need that one. Okay,
what is that? What is the standard called for webcam video?
I don't. There's a few of them, but I don't.
The most common, the one that CamLink uses is I cannot remember the name of it.
Always trust.
UVC. Thank you, Mir.
Interesting.
UVC.
Okay, and I don't like. I supposedly don't have to do anything on the camera. Like it's just freaking work like that. No, there's got to be something I do on the camera. Hold on a second.
Probably go into USB mode, I would assume.
They want me to restart after. Well, I probably don't really need to restart.
Oh, it's not good. It's pretty much the live view. That would suck.
What happened?
Mikey D says it's not good. It's pretty much just the live view. It really depends. Like I remember having all sorts of issues going back and forth when Patrick and I we both got A6000 cameras, and we were doing that on This Week in Computer Hardware for a while. And for a number of shows, he was using live view through HDMI into a camera.
Wait, I installed this, and I don't even see an application to run.
It was when he went. It's when you go into video mode. The video mode's live view is pretty much the pure HDMI feed. I thought, but I don't know how that would work over USB. Probably not the bandwidth to do it.
I don't know. Let's turn this camera on and see what happens. Okay, I got video on. USB mode, connecting to mass storage. See, that's what I was wondering. Like, it's in mass storage mode now with USB connected. Like, it's
Your
not.
Intel webcam will not work in Skype. Hey, you know what? I have an Intel webcam, still new in the box.
Playback. Disconnects USB connection and switches to USB power supply. Enter. So that's not the webcam. Okay, how is this software supposed to work? Let's see here. Setup procedure.
Go to menu. Set up USB connection PC remote.
Okay, hold on. Menu. USB. Camera has so many menus.
Yeah.
Stupid Sony.
Hey, it has all the features you need and more.
Focus assist, focus, movie, shutter, zoom, display, custom.
Are you
network.
under setup with the little briefcase?
Oh, the briefcase.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's menu and then setup with the briefcase, then USB connection, then PC remote.
Okay, hold on. I'm looking for USB.
I have a Panasonic Lumix. That seems to work reasonably well. Menus aren't that deep.
I have
Are
USB
you
1
using it as a
setting.
webcam right now, Brett?
I could be. I just bought the cable.
Oh, okay.
Oh, PC remote. Okay.
So then you connect it to USB, and
PC
then
plus camera.
yes, and then it says set the camera. Wait a minute. Set to auto mode. Then change to movie mode,
Yeah,
or just
I'm in
set it to
movie.
movie mode. I don't know. It needs to be in movie mode though.
But do I need to be on PC plus camera mode? I guess.
I don't know. It just
Because,
says PC remote.
Well, there's PC only, and then there's PC plus camera. But that's
It's difficult to say.
the operation is not available as follows. Oh, okay.
You may not be able to do it while it's connected to USB already, because it says to do it
Ah.
and connect the USB cable.
Okay. Well, I mean, it was already PC remote was already set to PC.
Yeah, try turning it back. Turn it off. Turn it back on again. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Hold on. There might be another USB option. Hold on, I'm looking. What the hell
This is why you're still watching at 1 a.m. on the East Coast, by the way. In
Somebody-
which
Somebody just asked me if I was drinking Kentucky bourbon, and I said just I wish.
what do you have there? Is that the champagne of beers?
It's just another fridge beer.
Okay. Some
This
sort of
is
micro.
no,
Look
this
at
is a Port City Optimal Wit. Actually, it's a lighter beer to finish the evening off.
Okay.
I mean, it's still trying to connect like storage.
At least people with insomnia are watching. So there. You are recording this, right?
No, I stopped the recording.
Where
for
are you seeing
God's
those
sakes.
directions, Sebastian?
The link that I posted to Discord.
Oh, hold on.
Let me post
I'm like,
this.
I'm like
this-
only on the page
Uh,
for the.
Mir reminds us that
Oh, that's the
people on
same
the
page.
West Coast are still
Hold on.
awake.
The instruction page. I just posted it. Instruction. It's convoluted as heck. I mean, it's like if you have this camera, click this. But if you don't have this camera and you have this other camera,
And
proceed
using
to
another.
step 3.
So I
You
guess
know what?
Yeah, I
You
guess mine
Sony,
is,
you Sony people are broken. That's all I have to say.
I guess I fall under the other cam. Okay, so I already had PC remote selected
Well,
on that menu.
before proceeding to step 3 below, you were first supposed to set the camera to auto. After launching the live streaming web conferencing service, starting the video, change it to movie mode.
Oh,
In other
wait.
words, I think you have to probably close down Skype, connect it.
Oh wait, I gotta change network wireless control with smartphone and turn that off
Oh, interesting.
because I'm in the other camera menu.
It
'Cause I
says
think
this operation is not necessary on models without control with smartphone, but apparently you do have to turn that off first. Interesting.
okay, so we go to network. Seems very weird. Control with smartphone.
There's limited
Mine
bandwidth.
was-
You had to
mine
turn
was set
something
to-
off.
Mine was set to on, so I'm turning that off. Okay. And then set up USB connection PC remote. I was already there. And then is RX10 Mark IV in this section? Okay, yes. When using that for proceeding to step 3, set the camera to auto. Okay, so auto. Wait, I'm waiting for it to be like. This seems awfully.
Convoluted.
This is like, yeah, it's like up, down, left, right.
It's like I don't know if
It's
you
like a
guys ever
cheat
watched-
code for Sony cameras. This
It
is
almost
stupid.
is. It
Remember
almost
the
is.
old SpongeBob episode where he's teaching Squidward how to blow bubbles?
Okay, so I'm in auto, but then it just did USB mode and connecting. Okay, and then after launching the live stream, whatever, then I go to camera like while I'm already connected and it started in auto, and then I switch to camera and nothing.
It's easy as pie, Alan. I mean, a child could do it. I like how there's so many different sort of troubleshooting things listed in step 4.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of change your appropriate setting. Da 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 da. Oh, there's
Okay.
even a USB reset application under Imaging Edge webcam, and
Hold on, I just read to the very bottom. The resolution is 1024 by 576 pixels.
well, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be whatever fits over the USB.
Yikes.
You know,
That's not
I
great.
mean, it's true. It isn't great, Let's see.
All this work and you own a Cam Link.
Yeah, I know, right? Like I'm literally like just plugging that in now because I'm just like, well, just plug in the Cam Link.
Grab my.
Saying. Just plug that in instead. Put the Cam Link in. Cam Link. Cam Link.
I've been making fun of you guys for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Why?
Yep. Have you listened to yourself?
Don't you love us?
He's just
Johnny, how do you turn this on, Johnny?
You say, why don't you turn it on and off? Why don't you turn it off and on again? Why don't you do that?
Oh, yellow light for copper. Is there a yellow light on this?
Gotta go.
Sort of.
Exactly.
I gotta go.
Yellowish.
Skype.
It's actually doing some weird stuff with the
Skype settings.
refresh rate.
Oh wait, Sony camera, imaging edge.
Hey, did it show up in Skype as an option?
I'm just switching to my Cam Link instead.
Oh,
Oh, hey.
what's happening?
What are you doing?
That's
Now
my
my
what are you
video
doing?
is superimposed.
You're taking over. You're
This
Let's turn
camera's
this off.
way
You can see
better.
my other terrible camera. Here we go.
camera-
This is
this
the
camera
really wide
Way
shot with the
better than
pipe.
my shitty webcam. Wait, why is the menu sitting over?
Hang on.
there?
I'll be
Alan,
right
we've
back.
lost
I'll be
your
right back.
video. Now Brett's gone.
You
Now
lost
it's
my
just
video.
this. Your video's gone.
Well, turn it back
There
on.
he is. Oh, look at this. That is the live view, isn't it?
Using the it's definitely the wide for the camera. Now I'm like a Casey Neistat holding my own camera in front of me and stupid shit.
Hey, it's popular. That's what all the
Mm.
streamers are doing, man.
Mm. It's heavy. Camera's heavy. Just saying.
Oh no, now the audio's jacked.
What happened?
I don't know. The video's gone, and now your audio's bad.
My audio's bad.
Well, it was. There was some static.
Oh,
Damn
Oh
it.
yeah, you're Cyloning.
Battery went dead.
That's quality.
Well, you stop with that. Just,
Hey, I like Panasonic stuff. They make the GH4, GH5. That's the, like
yeah,
the
very good stuff.
best.
Very good stuff.
That's what I want to get. I want to get a
I just-
GH5.
I just charged this like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, there we go. Here's Alan. That's very wide. That's what
where's all the color?
16 millimeter. You are just that pale, Alan. I'm sorry.
Here's my
I mean, what?
here's my
Why-
dead cat.
Why is that so bad?
You guys have a dead cat, right?
So that was this. That so washed out for some reason. I don't know why.
But look at this. Now we're back to the two
What's wrong with you?
cameras again. There we go. Slide it back up into place. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. It's the after show. It's okay.
That was
For
that was
God's
this. That was
sakes,
all
I gotta
washed
go
out.
back
I
to
must
everything.
have Vivid anymore or something. I don't know.
all right. I need to go to bed.
You've been a good sport.
Oh.
Been a good sport, huh?
I've had to pee
Yes.
for about the last 25 minutes.
I know I had to get up and go. I'm sorry
I
about
couldn't.
that. I know you're in charge. What are you gonna
Right.
do?
I'm hosting this thing. I guess I could just leave it on.
You could. You could just walk away.
Alan's audio screwed up again.
I know. He's not using a dead cat. That's why.
Oh,
He should be using a dead
Me?
cat.
Me?
why would he need to? He doesn't need a huge windscreen on his.
I don't
Boom
know. This
mic?
is off to the side of me, and
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's fine.
It's because it's being blown out. That's what I heard. It's
That
so
was just-
windy.
Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Okay.
I could bust out the Howard Cosell if I really needed to.
Could you?
You have a broadcast mic, or you mean the Howard Cosell voice?
No, the Howard Cosell headset. Remember?
Oh, okay.
You don't remember that one?
I don't remember it. No.
He's gone again.
You're in charge. I didn't get that. Coulda, woulda.
Yeah. It's a you're in charge.
I did not get the joke.
There it is.
Is that one of those Sennheiser broadcast headsets?
It's SKG.
You mean AKG?
That's what I said.
Yep. I just say I like the way the AKG does the suspension. Like, if you see here, there's enough light on this. It's like elastic here.
Am I back now?
It's
You
just
are.
sort of suspended. Anyway, they're
Yeah,
self-adjusting.
this thing. Remember this thing? You know,
Would
Big
you
Howard Cosell. feeling.
Okay.
would you call the next game with that?
I mean, I could. It's a broadcast headset.
I like Josh's old, what was it, like a Logitech or a Plantronics or something, the really silver one he used to wear.
That's practically like a phone. Plantronics make phone headsets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on.
I wouldn't necessarily call those the highest fidelity.
I haven't used the thing in a while.
I have a headset I need to review from Sennheiser that claims on the package to have a broadcast quality microphone, which, you know, if true, would be great. I could use it for the podcast, but I always doubt those claims.
What do you want to tag team review first?
How do I sound now?
You have more bass.
Bass.
Yeah, give us a few sentences.
I'm talking to you like I used to talk on the podcast.
It sounds like the old podcast voice.
You
There
sound
you go.
you sound closer, a little
magic
more
was-
intimate.
The
little
magic
more
was
intimate.
only in the this is a boom condenser mic.
Ooh,
I would use
not
that.
dynamic. Interesting.
I would use that. It's actually better.
Yeah, this is an AKG HSC as opposed to HSD for dynamic 271.
I have to say that Skype is probably not doing you any favors right now.
It's
No, it's a
probably
little.
not.
It's a little
It's probably-
hotter. So
Oh,
the,
is it-
it's being.
is it too
Yeah.
hot? Hold
Yeah.
on a
It
second, hold on.
is. It is. You're clipping a little bit. If you could attenuate your.
Hold on. I gotta find the stupid new microphone settings in Windows.
Oh well, that and Skype probably has their own as well.
Maybe.
Because Skype by default, of course, will take control, but you can turn that off and then manually control Windows.
I turned
How is
mine
it?
off.
Yeah, it keeps going up. Hold on.
I turned my automatic mic attenuation off in Skype. I don't know if it made any difference.
I feel like everybody sounds the same over Skype,
Uh,
as far as levels.
wow, it is still screwing with it, even though I said not to.
Yeah.
Why does
it will.
everybody think that if it's not Apple, I think it's junk? You know
Because
what?
that's. I mean, it's the reality, though.
You know, I'm not a caricature. I'm not.
I liked how you were talking about SSD performance earlier. You're like, yeah, I ran it through Blackmagic. You know, the one of only 2 SSD benchmarks available in macOS. And,
that tool is.
Hey, you know
pinned.
what? That was
What?
true though. People
Yeah.
could tell I wasn't making that up.
I believed you when you said Blackmagic. I'm like, yeah, you obviously would have run Blackmagic. I mean,
Yeah, so this. You know what?
And
Maybe
I
if it's,
chose different sizes.
Hold on. If it's too hot, it might be also because the adjustment is off on this guy. Hold on a second.
You actually sound pretty good.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I shouldn't be clipping. Hold on a second.
you're not really
Like-
clipping. It just sounds
it's
slightly
not-
overdriven.
It's not you. It's Skype.
It's like a soft tube overdrive on a clean channel.
Oh. Yeah, because I have to pass it through this thing
That might be loading it up a little bit.
to
Okay.
even
Yeah.
get it. Well, no, I mean I have it. It's not clipping. The green light that's flashing would be going like to orange and red if I was clipping.
Well,
It just
mean,
it
it's
just
not
sounds
a
like
big
Windows is up a little high and then Skype is adjusting.
Yeah, Skype keeps like raising and lowering that slider on me because
You
you
can
know
you can turn
I-
that off.
I turned it off. It's still moving it around. I don't know why. Because
Actually, I think you sound better than a few minutes ago.
Well, you know, I mean, it's probably just adjusting. I don't know. I might need to also move the move the mic away from my face a little bit. Hold on.
So much wind.
Maybe.
That's way better.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it wasn't.
It's better.
It's all misadjusted because it was in a drawer and it got all
Okay.
bent out of shape.
It's
That
better.
sounds much cleaner now.
Yeah, because it's
Now,
easy to like, if you go like this, you're just overdrive the
It's
crap
hot.
out of it.
Hot.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
tell us about the latest upcoming stuff from Intel.
What?
Brett, no, don't do that.
I tried.
Don't jeopardize his ability to sneak
You-
onto the podcast after
You
we're done.
can't hold me at fault for throwing that at him though.
We're gonna make a 96 core desktop processor. We're gonna
That
make
would
a
be-
36 terabyte M.2 SSD.
But is it going to be competitive?
We're gonna make of course it is. It'll just totally crush Cinebench. I mean, come on.
Tell
Yeah,
me
you'll
about-
start. Hey, Brett is going to be so good until we'll start using Cinebenching.
Don't
I was
you
gonna
know,
say,
don't you know everybody.
Let's
don't you
talk
know
about
everybody
synthetic
uses Cinema
benchmarks,
4D?
man.
Like everybody uses Cinema 4D, right? Like everybody.
Of course, all the time.
Let's talk about the real world synthetic benchmarks
Helm's going to bed.
Yeah.
Good night, Helms.
and the heat dissipation. Just how easy it is going to be to.
Hey, Brett, let's be honest. Let's be fair for a
Yes.
second. Talking about
All right.
heat.
We're dissipating heat now.
NVIDIA's taken a lot of shit lately because of the high TDPs and high momentary power usage of their new GPUs.
Hey, 450 watts is
So
where
get a
they
better
with the-
power supply.
Where
I
they with
want
the
the
badge of
performance.
honor?
I want the fucking performance.
I don't
Mark,
understand
my
what the
friend.
problem is. Like,
I mean, if you've got a 3090 and you're drawing 450 watts and
Yeah.
you can't get close to your ideal 8K gaming without your 10900, right? Which
I
is
mean, I've
drawn
got-
almost 200 on its own.
I've got like an 850 power supply. Like, I mean, I
That's
could
not going to be
just
good
plug
enough. 850 is not enough for a
I'm
3090.
I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry.
Well, dude, I
Momentary
can do-
power draw on that exceeds 450 watts. It
Right.
can.
Look,
That's
the
what
rest of your
capacitors are for.
no.
You need. Well, do you trust your power supply?
I'm sorry.
850 is not enough.
No.
I gotta
with,
upgrade.
with your CPU, with it's not.
How many SSDs? How many NVMe's do you have?
How many? How do you have like 16 hard drives connected to that motherboard?
No, it's in the basement.
With how
Right.
many?
It's 47 hard drives.
There's
controller
only a
cards?
there's only a 1.5 terabyte 905p in here.
Oh, only.
Mhm.
It draws 25 watts max.
I'm
If
just
you've
saying.
got-
Like,
If you've got another card other than the one in your video card 16x slot, yeah, you're done.
if I'm the kind of person who's spending 700 on a graphics card or more,
yeah, I think I can.
wouldn't care.
I think I can spring
like,
for
I
a
would
bigger
get a
power
good
supply.
1,000-watt power supply, and
It's 1,000.
I wouldn't mind. I
Yep.
could afford the power bill by buying $700 graphics cards.
The last power supply I bought was a 750, and I feel like I'm living in the cheap seats.
I mean,
It's not enough.
well,
750? It's
Yeah.
enough.
it wouldn't
For-
it would be it wouldn't be
for-
much of an upgrade, but I've got literally a stack of 850s in the garage.
I wonder why.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was my sweet Bitcoin mining config power supply.
It was a melt the snow off the roof of your garage, wasn't it?
Dude, you guys
I know.
believe I'm half considering actually plugging that stuff back in?
You are not.
Oh, hey, you've got it. Why not? The infrastructure is there.
I'm not kidding. Like I am actually pretty close because it's not like what it used to be anywhere near it, but it's still like 2 or 3x of your power cost you can make. So you can net roughly 2x of your
Look,
power cost right now.
The problem
like,
right
what is
now-
this, Ethereum, or what would you be?
No, you just do it through NiceHash. It
I
mines
know.
whatever
Yeah,
is
I
the
use
most.
NiceHash too, but I don't know what it's actually doing. It's worth 3x your power.
Well, they pay you. Well, no, it's like depends on the card and it depends on
Yeah.
what it's good at doing, and it just auto switches and whatever.
I
but, like,
remember trying this, and I was at about net zero.
yeah,
and I
and
just
so
Shut
and
it
so
off.
That's the
thing-
problem right now. Is you're talking Sebastian into plugging it all in again.
No.
no,
never
well, I
again.
mean, Sebastian, like, me doing it as a freaking ordeal because I literally have like a table full of GPUs in the garage.
I was doing it with 4 1070s that I bought, and it was
Right.
not worth it.
Why don't you just get some 1080 Ti's from Alan? He's got
1080
enough to spare.
Ti, that's not efficient enough.
It is. You
Is it?
you sort of you only
Oh.
run them at like 70% TDP,
Yeah.
and you still get a decent margin on the clocks are still reasonably
Do you
high.
keep the clocks though, and you just underdrive them?
You don't
You
get the
you
clocks.
you pull the TDP back to like 70%, and then you overclock it above its base by however many couple hundred megahertz or whatever, and it's because it's still able to do it. It's just
Really?
it just does it
Yeah.
at the lower power.
Well,
Yeah.
everybody with the Vega GPU knows exactly what you're talking about.
Right, and you can do that with the, Nice Hash is actually, this is the other stuff that's making me even half consider it in the first place, is that like before it was a pain in the butt just maintaining like the Windows installs on all of like the 20 systems I had running in the attic and whatever, and
Why were you maintaining the Windows installs?
because
What did
it was just easier back then to just
No,
do
I mean,
it.
why did you patch? Why bother?
No, not maintaining like that, but just the fact that you had 20 of them
Oh,
running.
Right, like accessing them either remotely or
Yeah,
directly.
yeah.
Oh,
like I had my second monitor was just a shit ton of small VNC windows into all of the,
yeah.
you know what I mean? It was just
Yeah,
like it was a
yeah,
nightmare, and
yep.
and now they're to the point where they have a very small Linux build that's their own thing called NiceHash OS.
Oh, that's perfect.
And you put it on a USB key, and you put a text file on the USB key that has like your wallet ID and stuff and everything, and it literally just boots off the USB key, auto connects, and auto benchmarks, and auto starts mining.
Oh,
Nice.
Sebastian, this is
Nice.
going to be
Yeah.
more efficient.
Nope. I swore it off. I lost enough money trying to do it the first time. I'm not doing it again.
So
Look.
around the time you were trying to start is around the time I was about to stop, because it got
Yeah.
to the point where like you weren't making anything.
Like
it's
I
just-
came back from CES when you guys were all talking, like the whole time it was just like you and Kim were talking about Nice Hash. I'm like, I've got to do this. By
And
the time
then
I actually finally
Yeah.
set it up later that year, it was
like 6 months later is when it all came kind of like crashing down, and because everybody and their mother was doing it, right? And but then a lot of people stopped doing it. And then if you look at the NiceHash profitability calculator thing, like over the past like 6 months, it has been slowly just kind of like creeping up. It used to. So what's weird is it used to do a thing back when everything was hot. It used to do a thing where if the value of Bitcoin went up, then your profitability would actually sort of go the opposite way, because everything would end up balancing out so that you ended up making the same dollar amount for a given amount of time for a given GPU, right? And so like if the market trended one way, the profitability would trend the opposite way, just to sort of like make it so it was a net zero sort of delta. But now, I don't know why, but if Bitcoin goes up, the NiceHash profitability doesn't really move at all for some reason. So you actually it's there's not so much competition and so much of that stuff going on now that you can't possibly make out any better sometimes. I don't know, I haven't quite put my finger on why the heck the dynamic changed, but there still seems to be demand, I guess is my point. Like the demand doesn't go away for no reason like it used
Alan, over 6 months, what percentage of a Tesla can he buy?
to. It all depends on how many GPUs you got.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Because it's
Scale. You got to scale it up.
Yeah, you have to scale it. It's almost not. It's like, okay, you can have a thing that, just think about it. You can have a thing that for a given GPU you can make back, 2 to 3x whatever the power cost of that one GPU was to run. So if you only have one GPU, I mean, you're only going to make like a few bucks a month or something, right? But if you have 80 of them,
I've been in your garage.
If I had like if at best I would have been making like, I don't know, $5 to $7 a day per card.
yeah, and it's like
And
and
that's
if I-
not enough. Once you get the power bill
Right.
at the end of the month, and then like the little bit of income you get is like
Right.
$60 a month. Is it worth it to have
and if I think that I did the numbers, if I fired all of my stuff back up now, which would still be a big pain in the butt because I have to lug it up back up to the attic and plug it all in and everything. And but if I did it all, I think it works out to basically like paying for your food, just roughly, right? Like I could sustain my either that, or I can basically just sustain like my mortgage payment with the mining.
So you're saying is the house would pay for itself.
The house could, in theory, the attic of the garage could basically pay
You
for
gotta,
the
you
house.
gotta do it. See, it's tempting.
It's tantalizingly close.
Well, it's just my fear is that it's like when you wash the car and it rains, right? Like I'm gonna drag all that crap up to the attic, and literally 5 minutes later, the whole someone's gonna find an exploit in the Bitcoin blockchain, and the whole thing's just gonna come crumbling down, and like that's it. That's the
That's
end
true.
of it, right?
I like this YouTube comment. Nice hash
What?
is just helping crack Apple iPhones seized by the police. Like, I'm pretty sure they don't need nice hash for that, but
No, I don't think they need that. There's ways.
yep. You just gotta disable that
Oh, the secure
10x
enclave.
like, lockout thing and just brute force it.
Well, you'd have to try to read the bits inside the secure enclave, which is probably not the easiest thing to do, but
All right. I need to go to bed. I'm gonna have to end this stream. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Hey, it's 1:30, Alan.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get up at 8. This is the great thing about having kids. Doesn't matter how late I go to bed, my son still gets up at the same time every day. My wife walks out the door at like 8:05 a.m. and I'm up for the day.
Need to give the child more alcohol
Yeah.
or tranquilizers.
I hope he's not going to go on a destructive tear for you tomorrow.
I don't know I know what's gotten into him. He turned 5 in the last week.
Does he know that though?
You're well beyond the twos, man. What the
I know,
heck?
but I don't know what it is. Every stage gets worse. He is just openly defiant now.
that
You tell him not to do it,
okay,
you
it
turn your
gets
back, you just
different.
did it again, and he'll stare at you like it's just. I'm
Are you
struggling
letting
with.
your kids stare you down?
I don't let him stare me down, but he's got some vicious looks. Like, what is happening? You're 5. What happened to my sweet little baby? Like, no, that's gone.
I don't know, man.
He wants his independence, and he wants it now.
Yeah, well, you know what? They get 16.
I'm hoping he mellows out by about 7.
Maybe.
He's not the devil, but he's got a little bit of those tendencies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm gonna go. Good night, guys. Thanks, Alan, for stopping by.
Hey,
Yeah, man.
Night.
That was
Thank
fun.
you very much.
600 is coming up. The big 600. I don't know if we're doing anything special, but we should get special.
What was today? What number was today?
598.
598.
Well, that's. I mean.
In a couple of weeks, 600. I mean, it could mean something.
September,
It's a
October.
lot. It's a lot.
Was it like the Halloween show almost?
Yes.
Uh,
Just about.
No, it'll be the first week of November. It'll be the 7th of November.
Okay. I'm gonna try and.
If we do it on time.
Maybe you guys can do your regular show content, and then me, Ryan, and Ken can crash it or something.
That would be
and,
hilarious. Yeah.
talk
That would
them
be
into doing
great.
it.
Maybe we'll have
We should get
VMix
in touch
going by
with
then.
Ryan.
and just do
Ryan said he would do it. I
He
saw a
did.
note.
He
I
did.
saw a note. He said he would be on.
He said he would do the 600 show specifically.
He didn't
Well,
specifically say that.
he
no.
didn't
He's
say
like, I should
600.
come on sometime or something.
He said he would. Yeah, I'll be on.
I think he would do. That seems like enough of an occasion. Like I could probably talk him into it.
Yeah, let him know.
Show 600 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
In theory.
I almost want to be on the next one just so I can hear Josh.
$5.99. That's right.
He's gonna have to introduce that podcast.
Oh, he's gonna have to host it.
Yeah.
Introduce it. Need a week off.
Oh crap! $5.99. All right.
All right.
Take
Good
it
night.
easy.
See you later, everybody.
Right.